Triple Cross Podcast. Welcome back to it. You're here with Casey at Niners Fan Man and my guy, John at Triple Cross Pod. And we are streaming the NFC Conference Championship Game between the 49ers and the Eagles today. We are picking up right now at 8:02 left in the first quarter. Missed the first drive by the Eagles that did result in a touchdown. We had a big scare if you're a 49ers fan like me, in Fred Warner getting a little rattled on that. We had a sort of controversial call. It looked like it was clean and everything down the sidelines by the Eagles. And then we had the Eagles punching in. They had a lot of thirds and a 1/4 down to get that drive. So both teams looking pretty good out of the gate. John, you're here with me. I just wanted to catch the audience up real quick. What have you seen so far in this game, and how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We got like 2 feet of snow last night, so I had to like shovel my driveway this morning. And it's like I live in one of those neighborhoods where like if you don't get to it early, sorry, this is tough to watch a game and have like a regular conversation at the same time. I live in one of those neighborhoods like where if you like don't get to it early, like your neighbors will beat you to it. Which is like, oh, that's so nice. But it's also like, yeah, that's a little emasculating as well. Like
Sure.
I'm able-bodied. I can
It'll
shovel my own driveway, right?
It'll happen. You want to do something to like kind of like puff your chest, like go like knock on the door and just like show them like a paycheck. And you're like, I am a man.
I can do things.
All right, just so the live audience is coming on with us. Thank you for watching with us, by the way. I want to make sure that you know where we are so you can sync up with us if you want. Oh, we got a
Oh no.
Oh, okay. We had a scary play here. We're at 6:55 left in the first quarter. Sorry, I had to pause there. As soon as we got the play clock here. So when the play clock is back up on the screen, I will read out what the play clock shows so that if you're watching with us, you can sync up with us. We just saw a scary play.
Hold on. Was that a linebacker on that rush or is that a defensive lineman?
That let's see, number 7. I'm
not totally sure. Why are they letting him wear number 7? What is this?
I don't know. Are we getting a challenge flag here?
No, snap the ball, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
are they going to say that? Are the Eagles saying they think it was a fumble?
It might have been a fumble, honestly. So we're talking about the play here where Brock Purdy got hit by the pass rusher. It looks like the ball came out before it was. Yeah, I mean, it was launched forward on a ricochet. Wait, what did that jersey say?
I don't know.
I didn't see who it was. We're just kind of getting.
I just don't understand why they're letting him wear number 7. Like, what is this? Make him wear the normal numbers.
For those of you who are on with us, thank you for joining us. We're just getting caught up kind of with some of the opening action. We're trying to watch the game so we knew what to talk about, trying to set things up for the stream, and also trying to do our promotional posts and things like that so that people know that we're live.
It's lots of things.
Working on a lot. We are settling in now. We will be streaming for the duration of the game, including halftime. So if you don't know what to do during halftime, make sure you kick it with us. Drop a comment drop into the live chat who you want to win. I know we have some viewers in here now. I want to know who y'all want to win. And we have just like ask and I shall receive. Looks like he's not responding to that question quite yet. But TCAF, what's up, man? Changed the rule this year. You can basically wear whatever number you want now. Yeah.
That's stupid.
I
disagree with that rule.
As like a football purist, I do too, but also like 20 years from now, we will no longer care. So
am I going to ban the NFL for it and like be like boycott? I'm not watching anymore. No,
it's but specifically because it goes against what the numbers are kind of for, so that you can quickly identify who a player is without being able to read the smaller print on his
group. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and there's some crossover anyway. It's not perfect. Megan says she's rooting for the Niners. Hey, Megan, what's up? Yeah, I'm rooting for the Niners as well. By the way, what up, girl? Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, right? Like a safety, like a DB could have the same number as a running back potentially, right? But like those guys
he was like wearing number 7 and like a 7 in an Eagles jersey. I was like, whoa, like why is he on defense? Like,
really it's strange.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's strange, you know. And of course, like I don't know anybody who gets like the number 1, which maybe shots fired at Jalen Hurts, but like anybody who goes like, well, I gotta have the number 1 then because I'm the guy. I'm number 1, like Cam Newton style. Like I don't know. It's just a weird, like, cliche thing. I would much rather have my quarterback rocking number 13, like Brock Purdy.
Right.
I would, however, prefer that my quarterback get the ball into the
I think
end
they
zone
ruled a
like
fumble,
Jalen Hurts
maybe.
did. Yeah, they did. So then
So that'll be Eagles football.
So Brock Purdy coming out of the gate, little bit of struggle, honestly, for this Niners defense. Of course, we get beat on that right side. That's where something like 68%. I kind of made up.
This is pretty bad because they stopped the play, and that dude he had a clear running lane. I mean, I'm not saying he would have been in the end zone.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're all right with it, but like, it could be 14-0. They're frothing at the mouth over there in Philly.
Yeah, well, it was Hassan Reddick. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hassan Reddick is one of those guys, so he'd be a linebacker. To answer your question from before, yeah, he's one of 4 guys who has 10 sacks on the regular season from the Eagles. So Eagles kind of went nuts with the sacks this year. They did very well. I think it was 70 sacks total as a team. Hassan Reddick definitely doing his share.
Yeah, if you weren't here a second ago, sound off in the comments. Tell us who you're cheering for. Tell us how you heard about us, all that stuff. Did you hear about us from our giveaway? If you haven't heard about the giveaway, Casey, you should probably tell me about the giveaway.
If you haven't heard about the giveaway, I do believe I remembered to put it into the description of this show.
Let's go. Good job. We're moving up in the world.
I'll double check on that, but I'll double check on that to make sure in just a sec here. But you probably want to know the details of that. You basically can win 2 tickets to the home opener of the team of your choice next season.
Whatever team you like.
If you go to the link in the description of this video and sign up for our giveaway, and you'll quickly realize there is a way to over 200 times your odds of winning said prize. So make sure you go do that. Do all those bonus options so you get all those bonus entries. You can earn up to 201 giveaways currently, or 201 entries to the giveaway currently. Potentially more will roll out too. So we might end up sending back some people who are our most loyal people and act super early. There might be some options that are added. So keep your eyes on the prize for that. All right. Niners are looking pretty good on defense, honestly. I know they're down 7 points. They give up a touchdown on the first drive. That's not what you want to see. But like I said, like super quickly in the intro of this video, the Niners put the Eagles on their heels on a lot of different, the series. There was a 4th down in there that they converted. There were several 3rd downs. I don't know that they ever converted on anything other than 3rd or 4th down, honestly. So it's kind of like
Niners more or less.
The Eagles are doing are working, but if there's kind of like a wear down effect, if some of the playmakers are getting tired, like we could definitely see that make a difference. That ball barely stayed in bounds long enough to go through the back of the end zone, which is good for the Niners. That was a punt by whoever the hell punts for the Eagles these days. And
TCAF, to answer your question, is that a green screen behind Casey? No, that is genuinely his wall. He lives in super cool gray brick building.
House.
It's a brick house.
It's not a green screen, but it is
a sheet of
backdrop.
A backdrop.
Yeah, it's a backdrop. A little peek behind the curtain here.
I don't know what to call it. It's not like wallpaper. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, it's basically like you can put it up. You can put it up however you want, really. But
is wallpaper a thing anymore? Do people have wallpaper in their house?
Old people.
So no is the answer.
Like old people still exist.
Well, no, I mean, but like nobody like puts wallpaper in their house anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I'm not saying old people aren't people. I'm just saying that like wallpaper, like you couldn't buy it. Could you buy it still?
I mean, anything you could want, somebody will sell to you. So yeah, of course. Like,
well,
buy wallpaper.
All right, let me go get. Could you go to Home Depot or wherever you used to buy wallpaper? I don't know where people used to buy wallpaper, but could you go to the wallpaper store?
I don't even know. Like, I wouldn't know where to go. Home Depot wouldn't be a bad guess, honestly.
Yeah, Home Depot would be. Honestly, I'm like, that's where they sell the paint.
I'd go to Amazon. I'm sure Amazon sells wallpaper.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Somebody, hit Amazon and see if there's wallpaper on there. I'm too lazy. I got like my computer's like all the way over here. So when you guys see me leaning, it's because I'm typing a message to Casey. It's a secret message.
while we're on commercial here, I'll share some fun personal news for myself that you just
Speaking of wallpaper.
Yeah. I'm getting a new spot, bought a house. So this setup will not be the setup for very much longer. So yeah, interesting you bring up the wallpaper. I will have a different backdrop, different.
Are you going to get it? Like, you're not going to use that backdrop anymore, you don't think?
We'll see. Like, I'm sure you'll be able to tell the difference. I might for a little bit. I don't know for sure. Like, there's some work that goes into a new house for sure. So it's not going to be instant, but
for anyone who's like behind the scenes on podcasting or whatever, Casey's setup actually, I think, looks really nice, but naturally is really bad. Like, it's very like there's no natural light down there or anything. So yeah, like Casey's is all just like him getting lights, lighting it, making like putting the backdrop in, putting some LEDs behind him, all that stuff. So I think it almost, when you know what you're doing, it works pretty well to have no natural light. No, natural light covers up like not really knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, but that's okay. I just pretend like I know what I'm doing and it works for sure.
Yeah.
TCAF, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. All right. I want to know. Yeah, looks sick right now. I want to know what we're expecting on this drive. CMC getting a toss to the left. Always looks like
I'm expecting CMC touches. Like, I could say that was a thing I would.
How's this drive end?
In a field goal.
Okay.
I got a field goal ending this drive. Hit us in the comments. What do you think? How does this drive end? Field goal, touchdown, turnover, on downs, turnover, forced turnover?
Oh, shit. We got Josh Johnson in the game. What did I just miss? I turned
over
for half a second.
Brock Purdy, maybe he hurt his arm.
Was it from the fumble play? And then they just realized
we got the sound turned down.
Going. Yeah, I got it like super low.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson not looking good immediately. Well, isn't that roughing the passer? Isn't that roughing the passer? Haven't we learned anything?
Yeah, I think that was just straight.
How was that not a body?
I think he tackled him and stripped the ball from him and didn't. It wasn't even a fumble. It was basically a handoff.
Oh, he's down.
You think he's down?
I mean, obviously, I'm kidding anyway. Like, I'm not being serious. But like, how is? By the way, they've been calling it this year. How is this not a bodyweight foul? Like, what? How did he brace himself at all? He landed completely on top of him. I mean. This is what's frustrating about how the way they've changed some of these rules.
Like, but we have also said that we think that it's too extreme.
Oh, it's a bogus penalty.
You want it when it's against your team.
What I mean is like it's impossible for them to be consistent because nobody thinks that's actually roughing the passer. I'm obviously kidding, but like by the letter of the law, that's exactly what it was. He put 100% of his body weight on him. Like that's what I'm saying. I hate that the body weight rule is garbage. I think they've been a little bit better about it in the back half of the season, but.
It really is so here's why it's really garbage is because you can't put your body weight on him and you also can't swing him around. So how are you supposed to tackle him? Like,
how are you supposed to get the ball, especially? You know what I mean? Like, how are you supposed to hold on to a ball if you're trying to strip it? Like, how are you supposed to have it? You can't. And also brace yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and just like trying to tackle them without swinging them around on top of you and also without falling on top of them. Like, someone's got to fall on top of someone. Someone's got to be on top.
Whoa. Okay. We had a 3rd and 20 for the Niners. Handoff up the middle, just like a draw play to CMC.
3rd
he almost pulled it out, though. He 17-yard run on a draw play.
Jeez.
Okay, Brock Purdy getting a lot of camera time on the sidelines. Not great.
All right, quiet for a sec. Elbow. He's getting his elbow checked out.
It's not going to work for me, man. I don't know how much more of Josh Johnson I can watch. That was
great. Pretty ugly. I
was feeling fine. Actually. Us losing the first exchange.
By the way, what is this punter's name? Good night. Wisnowski?
Yeah, Wisnowski. He's Australian. He's
really
had an incredible year, honestly.
How does he even know about American football?
I mean,
He's like, I played rugby and there was, I don't know.
Well, they have this thing called Aussie rules football, which I think is like, I am not a pro, but I think it's like a combination of American football and rugby. And they kind of learn this, like, I don't know how else to describe it other than like oh my God. And Nick Bosa is banged up now. What is happening? Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and Brock Purdy all banged up in the first quarter of this game. This is not what we want to see.
This is not great. This is not great for Niners fans.
This is not what we want. But
this is not what at Niners fan man wanted.
None of them look super serious. but this is going to be tough to
Receiving
overcome.
team, personal foul on the
Receiving
receiving team. What happens then? Do they still get the ball?
Yeah.
It's just a penalty against them on offense.
Yep.
I see.
Yeah, they'll move the ball back.
Well,
so they might
I guess
be
it's better than nothing.
They might be dealing from inside their own 20 here. I don't know for sure with that penalty added on. But yeah, they better get Purdy back in the game for sure. I mean, my confidence in winning is still fine, but it's about 0 with Josh Johnson at quarterback for the game. So, and we need Bosa healthy and Warner healthy. I mean, our defense is good, even beyond those guys. But those are, I don't think many people would argue, those are our 2 best players on defense. So, kind of a rough go on the luck side of things so far. But nothing looks super serious. Hopefully those guys just need to shake it off, get back in there. Man, I don't know. I don't know how we do with backups in there. So, John, what do you expect from Philadelphia this drive?
3 and out. Either a 3 and out, or maybe they convert 1 and then it's a 3 and out after that.
I'll meet you on that. Yeah, I think they convert 1 and then
they get 1 first down and then it's 3 and out.
Yeah. John, got a question to you here. TCAF wants to know, you end up scoring any leads on sponsors?
We did. Yeah, we'll have 1 sponsor coming up pretty soon. Not a huge deal or anything like that, but it definitely helps a lot when you're early stage creator. Casey and I have another show that's like further advanced, further along. It's like a bit more business oriented, like has to do more with like what our actual work day job is. Although Casey's day job now is kind of the podcasts, but yeah, we have so like we just learned that like when you're podcasting, that early first sponsor is like so helpful because you just start thinking about it different. So that's what this is. I mean, I can say who it'll be. It'll be a clothing brand, a men's clothing brand. They sell chinos mainly. Like they've got, t-shirts and stuff like that too, but chinos is their main thing. We'll have a promo code for them and stuff. But yeah. Good times. Thanks for asking, man. That's so thoughtful of you, TCAF. TCAFs are definitely our most thoughtful viewer. We have a guy who watches all the basketball shows who's pretty funny, but I wouldn't call him particularly thoughtful. So you're in that spot, TCAF.
We're also joining a podcast network.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't have a lot of the details on that yet. And maybe
Thank you for announcing that.
Early to yeah. Maybe I should have waited till I knew a little bit more about it. But yeah.
There's our first down right there. They were working from inside their own. Yeah, they were working from inside their own 20. You were right. Yeah.
AJ Brown, obviously I am an Eagles fan actually, but more of a Niners fan, definitely. AJ Brown's a beast, man. The year he came out, I'm not gonna lie, he was that's kind of the guy I was eyeing the most. You heard a lot of talk that year. I think that was like the CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy year, and I mean none of those guys look as good as AJ Brown does in the league.
Yeah.
And I think let's see, that was the year we got Ayuk too. And I'd say Ayuk looks as good as any of those guys. Yeah. So, except for maybe AJ Brown. AJ Brown's the one who's been really dominant, earned another contract. I might be a year off on.
Where was Ayuk? Like those guys were all, I don't know.
They were all first rounders.
Yeah. Where was Ayuk though? He wasn't a first round.
Ayuk was a first round. Yeah.
He was? Oh.
Yeah. They traded back up into the first round for him.
Okay.
Back end of the first round.
The
year before that, the year before that would have been Debo in the second round. Little bobble.
Hurst tries to put it on the ground, and that will put up 3rd and probably 9. So we go. 1 first down.
This is what I need to see from the Niners now. Like each one of these guys, I'm going to call these the 3 keys to victory now. Between Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and Brock Purdy, I need to see stuff like that. I need to see Fred, who I was worried about first in this game. He went down. That looked serious. I thought he was out. I thought he was going to be done the rest of the game. Comes back in only a couple of plays later, and now he's making a play in the backfield there. That's great. That makes me realize
Bosa is on the field, it looks like.
Bosa is on the field, so I need to see them. Like, I need to see that they're 100% because I still
And
think
they're not 100%. Everybody's banged up, but that they're functional. They're truly functional.
they're themselves at least,
Yeah.
And I'm still not too concerned giving up 7 points in the first quarter here, 3
Nope.
quarters left. I think we're going to be okay. I think honestly for what happened in this quarter, in losing Brock Purdy for a while there, in losing Fred Warner for a while there, in Nick Bosa getting a little banged up too, like to be down 7-0 is not all that bad. And if those guys are all firing on all
Yeah.
cylinders,
Looks like Purdy is throwing the ball over there on the sideline.
yeah,
So that's good news.
I think there's no way he doesn't come back into this game. It's just,
Right.
hopefully it's immediately. Hopefully he doesn't miss another snap because Josh Johnson's not gonna. I mean, if Josh Johnson has to play another drive, like I'll be surprised if we get a first down.
Right. DK Metcalf and AJ Brown went to the same college. Where did they go? Who was their quarterback? Because I have the same question. That seems like a really good receiver tandem.
Yeah, they were on the same team. They were. I mean, those were. I remember the one picture. What was it, Mizzou or something? Something like
Missouri.
Midwest.
Missouri.
Something Midwest. We can look it up. But Ole Miss.
That's deep. Oh.
Ole Miss.
I
just remember the one like iconic shot of them both like side to side, like shirtless, like just showing because they're like,
yeah,
they don't look like receivers of old.
Well,
they don't look like tall, thin guys.
Right. Two things. The SEC is tough. Ole Miss is in the SEC, I think. Pretty sure. And yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest college football fan, but I would be interested in who they're.
Who their quarterback was. Looks like field.
Do Bosa's shoes look like Jordan 1s?
They are Jordan 1s.
Jordan 1s with cleats in them.
That's it. Yeah, he's got the Jordan 1s.
That's the formula. Jordan 1s with cleats in them.
So as Bosa was hobbling off the field here, we did force that not a 3-and-out, but I think they only got the one first down, and then the Niners forced a punt, penalty flag out on the punt. I don't think we've had a clean special teams play yet. Except for like
you can't punt it out of bounds
through the end zone. You can punt it out of bounds. You can't.
Oh, you can?
You can't do a free kick out of bounds. Yeah. Was this? Oh, Bosa walking off of the field looked like he reached for his like left leg a little bit there.
Yeah.
A little rub on there. Man, again, that's key to victory. Without Bosa, I mean, we're not the Eagles. We did not have 4 guys who went double digits in sacks. We had 1 guy who led the league in sacks. Very different look. We need that guy in the game.
It's a different kind of thing. Yeah.
Really is. And I mean, it's
well,
fun,
you need them scheming. You need them scheming for Bosa. You know what I mean? Because other guys are capable, but you need them. That's what we saw last week with the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But you need them scheming for Bosa.
Right. And the way that we can move Bosa around a little bit, he can rush from both sides. He can even rush from the inside. He's super effective from all 4 spots of the down linemen. And that really puts a lot of pressure on the offense. You can really pick your matchups and make them come to you as far as like gameplay goes and strategy. So TCAP says there's a pic of Metcalf and Hunter Renfrow side by side with the caption, "These two both play in the NFL." Hilarious. Same position, same everything. One is, to be fair, just a slot receiver, more or less. And I mean, he was pretty much non-existent this season, it seemed like.
He was, yeah. Man, what do you think? What do you think the Raiders are going to do? I mean, I know that they're pretty irrelevant at this point, but like, they should be good. They should be better. I mean, I guess I don't know much about them defensively, but they should be better.
I don't know. It's going to be a rebuild year, right? I mean, who knows? They have Josh Jacobs, who's on the last year of his contract, so he'll need a new contract, but I can't imagine you let him walk with the season he had. You have Devontae Adams under contract still, but it sounds like he's kind of unhappy. Derek Carr is out of the building. You need a new quarterback. If you get Tom Brady,
I have heard Tom Brady rumors.
Yeah. I think that right now it's so early. I think right now that's probably like the highest temperature is in Oakland or in Las Vegas right now for Brady.
Yeah, I still say
but it's so early. He could still retire. He could go to a handful of teams.
Yeah. What are they mad about? What's going on with this call?
I know Jake Elliott, the kicker, is pissed.
He's real pissed. He didn't even do that. He's the place kicker.
Hit the wire.
It hit a wire. Oh, like a camera wire? Oh, okay. So it sounds like the ball hit like one of the they think the ball hit one of the camera wires that they're using, but they called a penalty on him for
And they can't confirm that it hit a wire.
right. Exactly. That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh
That is I have never
no.
seen that happen in a game before, like
Poor
that the
Eagles.
camera wire like gets in the way of the game. That happens in basketball sometimes. The like ball will go on the top of the backboard, but
Yes, man.
like yeah, that's I've never seen that in a football game.
Oh boy, we got Josh Johnson in the
That
game still.
yeah,
Oh, he
still
completes it.
go
Hey,
Debo, go. Ah,
you know what?
okay.
If you're not our regular quarterback, like a good rule of thumb is just get the ball out quick and give it to
If,
Debo.
if you're the fourth string quarterback, yeah, just
Man,
get the ball to Debo.
he's second string now, John. We don't have those other guys available. And you know what sucks is one of the narratives that like shouldn't have been as big this whole week was that Jimmy Garoppolo could have, like, it was a borderline, like Jimmy Garoppolo could come back this week. It turned into like just complete like crazy talking point where like, oh yeah, they want him to be the starter again. Well, that's not what
No.
anybody wants right now. But Jimmy
Yeah.
Garoppolo, I would much rather have in as the backup than my guy Josh Johnson. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, so clearly Jimmy Garoppolo was not ready to go this week. Otherwise, he'd be playing right now.
Yeah. TCAF, yeah. TCAF asked, did they give you guys any new rules when you got a sponsor, like no cussing and stuff like that, out of curiosity? Like John mentioned, we have another show where we've kind of been through this process before, and I think as a general rule, I think that would kind of like, we aren't trying to attract sponsors that would care too much about that.
Right.
Hopefully, on the other show though, we are a little bit more buttoned up just by nature,
Yeah.
because it is a business show, as opposed to a sports show with a bunch of salty sports fans.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you don't worry, you're gonna hear plenty of f-bombs on this stream, I'm sure.
TCAF's like, if you guys aren't cussing, I'm out.
I'm trying to just like keep it mellow because it's so early still. We just finished the first quarter. There's no reason for anybody to be too upset. I just want Brock Purdy to be all right. I want Nick Bosa to be all right. As long as those guys come back in the game, I'm not going to freak out too much at this point. I'm going to try
Yeah.
to just think happy thoughts like Peter Pan, and it's gonna carry the team, the good
Yeah.
juju out there.
So like probably the main rules that sponsors will usually have is just like no competitors. So like, if we got a sponsorship with True Classic Tees, that's not who it's with. But let's say we got a sponsorship with True Classic Tees, we couldn't also have like Fresh Clean Tees. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like a direct competitor. Or, if we got Manscaped, we couldn't also have that other one. I can't remember. The other one that sometimes sponsors podcasts. Yeah, so that's really usually the only thing. And you can sometimes you can even have sponsors and have competitors, but just not on the same episodes.
TCAF is curious about the other channel here, so I will drop it in a comment. If you are curious about our other show, it is Modern Commerce on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you stream podcasts, really. But you can go sub to that channel. Like I said, it's Modern Commerce. Big MC for the logo. There might be multiple things that kind of use the Modern Commerce name, but we were
there
the
was
first.
another.
We're the only podcast, I think.
No, there is another podcast that uses it.
We were first,
they're
though.
They're like
We were first.
a year and a half later.
Trying
So I'm
to
like,
steal
you
our
guys
momentum,
knew.
jump
It's
on
not
our
like you
wave.
guys didn't know. Yeah. And they
But we're bigger
talk
too, I
about the
think.
same kind of stuff too.
I think we're bigger on everything except for they might have beat us onto Apple Podcasts. We were newer onto other things, but we've been on YouTube for 2 years, John?
Longer, I think.
Well,
yeah, Brock the Glock's over there looking like he's got his helmet on. I mean,
he's got about 30 towels stuffed into his armband, though. So,
yeah,
I mean,
I don't know what that means. It's like those towels. Got to keep the
another
arm
delay
dry.
of game penalty is coming here. Oh my god,
Joshy boy, this is a big stage, bro. Just
my guy, dude. I mean, he doesn't care. I mean, he cares, but like,
He's like, just get the other guy back in here already.
yeah. I mean, I'm with him if that's what he's saying.
I can't imagine like this is where he wants his shot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. You guys, what do y'all think? If you're Josh, if you're old Joshy boy right now, Josh Johnson, do you really want to be in this position? Like no game reps all season, right? Has he ever had game reps?
He's a veteran. He's a journeyman guy.
Oh yeah.
But
Oof,
yeah, I mean, he's
way to
been a
get it
career
out.
backup kind of guy.
Way to get that ball out. I will give him that credit there. I will say this: the offensive line is doing a pretty poor job of protecting him. Like the Eagles are getting there quick. So I don't know how that would be different if it were Brock, but that didn't seem like it was happening when Purdy was in.
I mean, it's obvious to some degree, but we really just need to establish that running game. It seems like, I'm not looking at the box score, but it feels like when we give CMC the ball in the backfield, it's been working. So let's do that.
Give him a screen pass or just hand him the ball, whatever.
One pretty big fact, bringing the clock down to 2 again. I mean, it's just blocked by, was that Fletcher Cox? No, Jason Hargrave.
TCAF, yeah, it reminds me of Any Given Sunday. Willie Beeman. My name is Willie Beeman. Yeah. You know what's funny is I actually just saw a thing with Josh Allen. He said he pukes in the huddle like every game, like at the beginning of the game. Yeah, I'm like, bro, just like what, like all over the offensive lineman or what? Like,
I remember the scene from The Replacements more, like
yeah,
where they like puke in the huddle, and then Clifford
and
Franklin's
then that just sets off a
man,
chain
if I
reaction.
see somebody puking, I'm gonna start puking, and then they all start puking. So they end up like moving the huddle together, like freaking. Okay, 3rd and 20. There's a flag on the field. What we got? Holding, pass interference. I kind of missed it.
The Niners cannot get it together with this guy.
I mean,
like the rest of the team's the same, but they're just like, I don't know, our whole equilibrium's thrown off.
Yeah, for anybody who had to take that
illegal formation.
So this is why, if you go to like the most recent Brock Purdy video we put out, the clips video is about 6 minutes long. It's on our YouTube page, obviously. If you go back there, I am pretty adamant in response to the take that like anybody could kind of come in and make the Niners offense work. Brock Purdy is nothing special. This is Exhibit A here. Like Josh Johnson cannot make the Niners offense move.
This seems particularly bad. This seems particularly bad to me. Like Jimmy G had it working better than this. Like these last couple.
Well, Josh Johnson's not a starter. He's just not.
Yeah,
Jimmy G is a borderline starter still.
Yeah, these last couple possessions have been particularly poor, and like not just from him. Like the protection's breaking down, the defense is getting to him. Like it's like everybody. It's like I don't know, something about their whole equilibrium is thrown off when he's not there, or when he's in there, I guess. Or they're just like, we don't like you. Maybe they just don't like him. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like let's stick with movie references. Maybe it's like The Longest Yard when they just like make him do it all by himself. You know what I'm saying?
If you want to win, put CMC in.
Yeah.
Here's an idea, Kyle. Hand the ball off to CMC. He's tearing them up. That's yeah. I don't know why he's not. I'm going to pull up the box score here so we can kind of break down the action so far.
I don't presume to be a better offensive coordinator than Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean? So I like, maybe he knows something we don't, I guess. I'm going to try and give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
He's trying to limit touches. I have no idea, man.
I mean, this is not the time to limit him. We so quarterback
last game of the season, can't hold anything back now.
Quarterback lines right now. This speaks to the point I was just making. Josh Johnson is 1 for 3 with 9 yards passing. Brock Purdy was 2 for 2 with 19 yards passing. Of course, he did have the one fumble. So say what you will, but that pressure is pretty unreal. Like you said, John. And aside from the fumble, Purdy was moving the ball 2 for 2 for 19. That's not bad. We need him back in the game. To our other point, maybe we should run the ball a little bit more while he's out of the game. CMC 5 carries for 29 yards. That's a 5.5
and it's not like the rest of the running back room with the Niners is any scrubs either. Like you can spread the touches around if you need.
Yeah, I didn't share this with you before the game, but Elijah Mitchell is an inactive guy
He's
this
inactive.
week. So,
Well,
but we still have Debo, who also has one
yeah.
carry for 4 yards. 4 yards will do it. So either one of those guys, give him the
Yeah.
rock. Don't let Josh. You know what? Direct snap it to him. Honestly, I don't want Josh Johnson to even touch the ball.
They are having him like drop back and pass a lot, or not drop back, but he's working from the shotgun, but they're having him pass a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, just keep going down this line here.
What do you?
The receivers, the receiving game, Ayuk is 1 catch for 10 yards. Kittle, 1 catch, 9 yards. Debo, 1 catch, 9 yards. So, like, just from the box score, minus that 1 fumble turnover, and obviously considering that we have other plays that or other drives that stalled out, everybody looks like they're doing their job. You know, I mean, we're gaining yardage when the playmakers are getting the ball, and we need that point guard back in, man. I'm going to call it next drive. Purdy's in.
Bosa's still in the game. Eagles handoff on first and getting nowhere with it. What do you think about this take, Casey? Kyle chokes in the big game. In the big games. Hey, are we color twinsies? No,
Kinda.
we're not.
Oh.
We are color twinsies, but it's not the same drink.
No, we need a sponsor from one of these guys. We drink enough of these. Yeah, that was a big stop. Oh, on the take here, Kyle chokes in big games. I mean, is it Kyle's fault? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. He definitely, that's his reputation as folding in the Super Bowl, particularly. I would say he's done pretty good in the conference championships, though. Like, sure, we lost to the Rams, but I mean,
that's a safety. Oh no, he got out.
What did I say was the key of victory? We need to see Warner, Bosa, and Purdy back on their game. We saw Warner first. Bosa now with a big play, a near safety.
Oh gosh, he's trying to pull him back too. Hurts just barely got out.
Yeah, this was forward progress outside.
What TCAF said here. Defense will have to get a turnover to change momentum of this game, or a safety would also work, which is also a turnover.
That'd be pretty huge.
Safety is like the ultimate like nuts in the face in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd be like our defense.
I would get 2 points and give me the ball.
Wasn't even a turnover. We just
get it anyway because we're badass.
Okay. All right. Hey,
there we go. There's a 3 and out.
If this possession for the Eagles did nothing else for us, what it did was it gave Brock Purdy some time, and Josh Johnson didn't have to touch the ball.
Josh Johnson's going in.
I don't want to see a pass this drive, Kyle. I want to see only runs. Yeah, I don't.
They're backed up. Do you try and block this, Casey?
Yeah, John, you do. Yeah, you do.
Well, you risk not being able to return it. Is what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we got Ray back there. He's gonna try something out.
Bring it across the 50 at least.
Not bad.
You're not far from field goal range. Run the ball. At least get 3 out of this drive. Like get some momentum. You know what I mean?
You need it. Yeah. I mean, if we can be gaining points with Purdy on the sideline, hopefully still temporarily, that's going to help because honestly, if you ask me right now, even the way this is going, that defense looked good on that last stand there. I still don't think our odds are very good unless Purdy can get back in the game.
Yeah.
There's only so many defensive plays you can make in a game against a team like the Eagles, and Josh Johnson's going to have to do something if he's going to remain in the game.
We've seen defense win games, defense win Super Bowls, but it's definitely the exception to the rule. You know what I mean? It's not the rule itself. Yeah. So, I mean, they got to get some kind of offense going. But
I agree.
You remember before they got Christian McCaffrey, and we were kind of saying, like, if the Eagles can find a way to put up like 14, or not the Eagles, if the Niners can find a way to put up like 14 points, they might be able to win like quite a few games with just that. Like maybe that's what this will come down to because they just can't do anything with Josh Johnson. But I agree. Like, why pass? You know, you got lots of run options.
Yeah, does not make a ton of sense to me. But you know, like you said, we're not the NFL coaches. Right. Kyle Shanahan is, and like I mentioned on our last full episode about the Niners, that can Brock Purdy punch the ticket to the Super Bowl for the Niners episode. The first half of the game, as weird as it sounds, as much as it sounds like a cop-out, the first half of the game for the 49ers is not about putting up points. It's about setting up future plays. So
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that they're actually accomplishing that either.
Right. Not at this
Because
moment.
I mean, when you're getting sacks and stuff in the backfield, like the plays aren't really developing, so coverages don't really.
Setting up future plays where we don't get sacked in the backfield.
Oh, that's the wrinkle we added this
Yeah,
week.
this they won't be ready for that. They'll be thinking like, oh, they want to keep getting sacked in the backfield. All of a sudden, we'll be like, oh no, they don't.
Yeah. So, but that is the goal. So, like being down in points is not something that I'm too worried about, as long as it's within like reach. If we go into halftime down, but yeah, let's maybe at least complete our plays, like finish them out. This is devastating to watch. What they're doing right now. Show me Trey Lance go down. Show me Jimmy go down. Show me Brock Purdy, who is on the sideline, not able to play.
Right.
He's got his coat
he's got
on.
his jacket on now. I don't like that. Heavy dose of CMC, Debo, and Mason runs right now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're dropping back to pass
action.
again. We'll play
Screen
action.
pass to CMC.
It is the CMC though. So,
oof.
Hate to see him get hit like that.
Oof.
You know what I mean? That'll be a first down though.
That's right around there. I wasn't sure if they were going to give it to him or not, but yeah, probably.
We're going to move them sticks, boys.
Yeah, CMC almost is too fast for that. We have some of the more athletic offensive linemen on the Niners.
Right. It's tough running screens with that quick of a running back.
Yeah.
Because it'll drive them crazy when the offensive lineman can't keep up.
He is disciplined and everything.
That's
smart.
The thing. You got to be disciplined. Yeah.
There we go. This is what I want to see. Just like we don't need to run swing passes even, I don't trust Josh Johnson enough for that. Let's just do what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Let's keep running the damn ball, Kyle.
Well, they got to be close to field goal range now.
They're getting there. Yeah, one more first down should put them right around there. Robbie Gould doesn't have the biggest leg in the NFL or anything like that by any means, but he is one of the most consistent.
They got 15-mile-an-hour winds out there. Southwest.
I
don't know which way if that's in their face or not, but that's not a light wind.
I would say they are basically in field goal range here. It's not a gimme though. Now we're firmly in Gould's range. I feel very, very confident he would hit this. Like I said, he's one of the most consistent kickers in the NFL, and I believe he's never missed a kick attempt, whether it be a field goal or an extra point in the postseason. And he's been to the postseason quite a bit. Something like 35, 30 kicks, something like that. Pretty good. Not too bad.
Josh Johnson's getting in a rhythm now. All right. I like it. Move them sticks. Josh Johnson's getting in a rhythm now, I think.
That is something Johnson can do. Johnson, to his credit, is probably more mobile than Purdy. So that's not bad. I think he kind of became interesting after the Lance draft pick, that he is more that archetype and could back him up pretty well. Right. Different situation going on right now, but you know what? We roll with what we got, and like you said, we're moving. We're moving downhill now.
He's 3 of 5 for 27 yards now, right? So that's not a bad line.
No, that's not bad. You want to see a 60% completion percentage, and he's right there. So that's kind of the minimum you want to see. But
little shout out for your team here. They're on their 4th-string QB and in the conference championship. Yeah, I mean that like perfectly describes the Niners, I think. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's not a lot of other teams that could do that on their 4th-string QB.
I don't think there's any other team that could do that.
Not even think
close,
about all the other ones that are in the conference championship.
Yeah,
their QBs are a big led. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and this team is more defense led. I think it's no coincidence that we're only seeing the offense. This is probably their best drive of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's no coincidence we're seeing that after a couple of pretty big defensive possessions. I mean, the Niners defense, they gave up a touchdown on the first drive, which I don't think most people expected that. But they've really been staunch since. Okay, a little fakeroo.
Get rid of that.
Not going to work out.
Yeah, at least
Josh
got
Johnson,
rid of it.
Yeah, Good. Don't
Give
go
him that.
backwards.
Just don't. Yeah.
With
Stay in
so many
field goal range.
with CMC and Debo especially, even Kittle, lots of guys, being 10 yards away, we really only need one play to convert a first down. You can
Right.
do 3rd and 10. It can happen.
Right.
What you can't do is, run backwards like that and then take
Yeah.
a sack 8 yards back, and then you're at 2nd and 18, and then it's just, let's make sure we don't fall out of field goal range kind of thing.
Yeah.
You almost stop playing for the touchdown at that point.
McCaffrey
stays on his feet.
McCaffrey. That's the end zone.
That's my guy.
Good
buying a
night.
CMC
Breaking
jersey.
tackles. The
It's,
man is tough to bring down.
I just made my mind up. I'm buying a CMC jersey. I need one. I think I'm going to get like this one almost.
You buying one for you?
Yeah, man. I want a CMC jersey, man.
Okay, not like for like a fan, but like for you.
CMC. I mean, that's the coolest position in football. I mean, I love running backs. That's what
he almost. It seemed like he almost sought out that safety. Like, where's the safety? Let me just take care of this now.
While he's like still like tiptoeing after that other.
I know he was like in like basketball, they'll say there's guys who like initiate the contact, right? Like when they're driving, they'll like find the defender and initiate the contact. That's what that looked like. He came over this, and then he was like, "Where's the safety? Let me just take care of this safety right now, and then I have all this space over here to work with."
I like what you're saying.
I don't think he did that, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, I like what you're saying, John. I like the attitude, but it didn't look like that on the replay. Now that when I watched it back there, it was like
he was he was like
he was still stumbling. He had his head kind of down, and then he got hit by the safety. But that's even cooler, kind of that not even anticipating that hit. Definitely anticipating it. Definitely didn't see him though.
No.
If you watched our last stream, I have a tradition. The Niners score. I take a.
Is it any score or touchdowns only?
Touchdowns.
Okay.
I'll just say non-distinct red liquid has to go down the hatch.
Down the hatch.
They can reach out to us for a sponsor too. No free reads here.
No free reads here. Except for Monster. We give free reads to Monster.
This feels like the ultimate compliment. TCAF says,
"You kind of remind me."
I gotta remind him of Sal from Impractical Jokers. And hey, man, what's he does? Like, I don't even know. I can't do a good Sal impression if I was trying. So I'll just stay in character in my own character.
In your own character.
Yeah.
This actually isn't Casey's real personality.
No, I'm actually like totally different.
He's a Seahawks fan in real life.
Yeah, that's it. Oh man. Oh boy. Okay, so feeling better, right?
Yeah.
A little pulse check.
I mean, with a backup QB in. Wait, I need one more backup, I think. No, that was the right number.
Correct. 3 back.
I was worried. Yeah, I was worried we'd get no offense out of them, but yeah, basically we're 3, 4, 5 possessions into Josh Johnson, and the Eagles have not been able to stretch out that lead that they already had, really. Like, they kind of started with it. So new game here. Basically new game starting in the second quarter.
You asked me on our last episode who I thought the most overrated player in this matchup would be, and I said Jalen Hurts.
You said Jalen Hurts.
And so far, honestly, I feel like that's pretty on. That first drive, they looked good, but they still it worked. It looked functional, but a lot of 3rd down conversions, a lot of 4th down conversion. Some big plays that made it happen. Jalen Hurts looked fine, but since then he's looked not good against this team. So maybe that had something to do with. I mean, obviously it has something to do with Fred going down. He was out for a good amount of that drive. We're not going to have a return here on the kickoff after the CMC touchdown.
Okay, what do we see from Philly here? You think they moved the sticks at all here?
What we see from Philly here, honestly, even if they do, that's not that bad. I don't know. I wish I was on the sideline. I would love to hear Purdy's status. Are they just in the territory where he's shut? Oh, a little arm. Did you see that?
Oh, I missed that.
Jawan Jennings with a little, hey buddy, I gotcha. A a little arm around the waist. He was holding CMC up after that safety hit. Kind of helped him keep his legs.
Keep his
And
legs under him.
CMC, if nothing else, this makes total sense with the head down. No matter what's going on, his legs are churning. He's
Yeah,
the
his legs are moving.
prototypical guy. When they say like, as a running back, you just never want to stop moving your legs. Nobody.
He took that.
Like,
he took that piece of coaching when he was like 8 years old, and that was if that was the only thing he ever listened to, this is how far he's gotten with it. Like,
you think they waited till he was 8 years old to tell him that? This man's father was in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, well, in most states they don't have tackle football before the age of 8.
I'm just saying he had that in his brain. Like,
I'm guessing he also played quarterback early on.
I mean,
because usually just your best player plays quarterback.
But he still ran the ball a good amount,
Right?
Like,
yeah,
just never stop moving your legs.
He played QB running. He played QRB.
Yeah, he was basically the Jalen Hurts of his Pee Wee football team.
of his youth football team.
Okay, so we got a 3rd and 2 here early in this drive.
You think we get a stop here and just get the ball back?
Well, this is what I want to see. I want to see this. If Jalen Hurts can't convert a 3rd and 2, then what?
That's not great. Yeah,
that was their
thing. You should be able to convert.
Well, that's the key difference between the other drives of this game and the first one.
It's close. I don't think he got it.
And in a touchdown, they did not get there. They might go for this and get it just because it's so close, but it's pretty far back. I think they're going to punt.
If they do, they're pretty deep in. Yeah, I think they kind of have to punt, because if they don't get a first down here, then it's basically an automatic Niners score. Though they're going to go for it.
If you were playing Madden, it was like mid animation that like spin around the defender, and then whoever that was to clean that up did a great job. Okay.
They got it.
But maybe we knocked the ball out. Okay. Hey, this is what I want to see from the Niners defense, though. They're making them work for it.
What do you think like the weirdest thing that happens in the bottom of these pileups is?
Oh, I've heard some weird stuff. Some like dong grabbing and stuff.
No, I mean, of course that's I see. I
like, I said weird.
No, I said weird stuff. Yeah.
I think I don't know, man.
You think anybody ever does like a wet willy down there? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Just
I don't know if you got a great like amount of access to the. I don't know if I'd want to put my finger into one of those ear holes, like in a scrum, and lose it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like somebody else could come in. You could have another helmet get in there and instant.
I could see people doing like an ear hole slap, try and like bust that eardrum.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Or like maybe a little nipple twister. I don't know.
I guess the nipples.
The dong grab's probably the go-to move. I'm sure it's the go-to move.
I don't know if it's a go-to, but some people do it.
It would be my go-to.
Yeah. All right. It's on brand.
Yeah. Throat. I wonder if there's any throat. Like, does anyone go to the throat, you think? Try and
Seems too aggressive and too easy to catch somebody on,
Try and pass someone out, take the ball from them.
Pass them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got a deep shot. We got a
deep one.
Interesting.
Pretty well covered. Ooh, yeah,
that was CB1, Charvarius Mooney Ward. Big offseason acquisition for the Niners. Best, at least best corner on the team. If not, best DB on the team. If he is the best CB on the team, he might also be the best DB. It was interesting to me that they went there, because Devonta Smith is a great receiver, but he is the 2 on the Eagles. So
Hurts didn't look like he'd made a progressive.
That's what I mean. To stare down that option of their number 2 receiver against our number 1 corner, weird choice. Again, weird a hole I see in Hurts' game right now. He's a good passer. He can make all the throws. Oh, Jimmy! What are you doing?
Ooh, we're gonna have a roughing the passer, I bet too.
Look, he's 260 pounds of muscle and he's 6'4" or whatever.
What? Just because of how late the flag? I don't know for sure, but just because of how late the flag. Just because. Oh, maybe it's a hold.
Jimmy, that's twice. I mean, in the last game, you heard Fred Warner kind of. In the last game, you heard Fred Warner say it was all Jimmy Ward who made the play, which is true. In the last game, the interception against the Cowboys, where Jimmy Ward kind of came across, undercut a route, kind of bobbled it in time for Fred Warner to come around and pick it up, and they had a little return on that. But in my opinion, like, it was a great reaction, but like, Jimmy needs to like catch the ball.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
same thing there. Like,
Don't
man, you got
bobble.
your
How about
hands
you
on it.
didn't bobble it? Yeah.
Like, Jimmy,
Well,
you're like a veteran leader of this defense. You need to do it.
I will say sometimes that the reason people are DBs instead of receivers
That's just
is because they don't have good
come on,
hands.
man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't talk about NFL DBs like that. You know, by that point, they all got good hands.
No, that's I bet. Like if they've always been a DB, they may have originally become DBs because they don't have great hands.
He has always been a DB, but like, I mean, he's got good hands. It's just it's something about the moment right here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I will say that Jimmy Ward is a very talented football player. He's the most tenured player on the 49ers team. He's the only guy to make it through like the last like 4 regimes. Like, you know as well as I do, like when a new coach and general manager takes over, a lot of times they kind of clean house. Jimmy Ward has made through like 4 different progressions of that happening. Okay.
Hurts wanted to move that receiver out, but
we're gonna get a hold there, right? A hold on
might be
Hyder, maybe. He looks like he's calling for it.
So whoever that receiver in the flats was, or maybe it was the running back, did not react to hold.
Hands to the face on defense.
Number 97.
Okay. What are
Nick
we
Bosa?
doing here?
Nick Bosa, hands to the face.
97. Oh, it's 96 though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's those hands are
accurate. Sure. It's an accurate call.
That was a stupid penalty.
It was a stupid penalty on the player.
Yeah. I did not see that in live action, but yeah, it was a.
So that gives them a first. That gives them an automatic first down.
That's brutal, man, because they're looking. Oh my God.
Now what?
Is that a Menahue?
Can we play some football, maybe? They got to talk about it. They're like, I don't know, something happened. We should just talk about it.
Oh, offense. There we go.
Hey, there we go. 1st and 15.
We'll take that. We'll take that exchange. That's going to be on Isaac Semalu. I don't know if that's
who that is.
I kind of like sort of heard it a little bit, so I just repeated it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 1st and 15 from the Eagles' 42-yard line. 7-7 game, 4-16, 15, 14, 13 left in the second quarter. Oh, barely got the snap off by Jalen Hurts. Not looking, honestly. If you're an Eagles fan, you might not agree with this, but being a Niners fan, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, and he's just barely got that snap off in time before a penalty. That reminds me a lot of Josh Johnson on our side. He has had 2 delay of game penalties in his limited amount of snaps this game.
Hurts is 9 for 15 with 75 yards. He's had plenty of completions, but
one was a bomb.
Right. Yeah.
The average pass is very short. The take that play. I hate it when people say it, but take that one play out, and the rest of the passes are very short. They're like that. Right. They're like little dumps. And which is smart too. Get the ball out, get it to your playmakers.
Yeah, look, they might be setting some stuff up too.
What I'm saying though is for Jalen Hurts to be in the MVP conversation, there's no confusing him with Patrick Mahomes right now, right? In this game. Nope. And I don't think Hurts deserves the MVP. And honestly, when it comes to a matchup like this against a defense like ours, I do think Hurts. I think so far my prediction is pretty spot on. That Hurts has been a little overrated in this matchup. They're not coming out and they're dominating. They're not doing the high flying. Only one pass downfield has really panned out for them.
Right.
Everything else has been pretty covered up by the defense, and
they've taken a couple shots downfield, and that hasn't worked. TCAF makes a pretty good point. Usually mobile QBs are I haven't really seen Jalen Hurts put the ball on the ground and really hurt the Niners. Hurts. See what I did there? I haven't seen him hurts the Niners yet with his legs. That was a dad joke.
Hey, oh no, Kenny Gainwell.
Well,
okay.
Is that really his name, Gainwell? Jeez.
Yeah,
that's on the nose, isn't it?
I guess so. Kind of getting down there. Did they get into the red zone on that one? Did you say down to the 17? I think maybe.
Seems they crossed the 30. No, they're not in the red zone.
I think you got that wrong. 24.
So 24,
Eagles move all the way up to the Niners 24-yard line or so. They're going to have a 1st and 10 there.
And we're going to go to commercial.
They're doing a lot of this underneath stuff, man. I mean, it's hard to defend that when you got a lot of field to spare, like when you got a long field behind you, because you kind of the defense spaces out, especially with how much zone coverage the 49ers play.
Yeah.
The zones have to accommodate deeper down the field. As you get closer to the 49ers end zone and they're playing defense against you, as we're here at the 24-yard line, those zones, those deep zones are not deep anymore.
Yeah.
Essentially, you don't want a guy just thinking about covering the end zone. So you got your safeties kind of like covering, from like inside the 10, basically. You got your linebackers focused on more like the 10 to the 20, and you got everybody else just shooting downhill, and there's not anything given up in doing that because the rest of those zones are still covering everything. Like it's going to be we're about to see.
You can't run that underneath stuff. You can't run that underneath stuff as well in the red zone. So
exactly, it can still squeak through. There's still gaps in the zones.
Yeah,
but we have some of the fastest linebackers in the league, so those zones close quickly. The holes in the zone close down quickly.
You have to be a better passer, like a better true passer than he has been so far. So far, Jalen Hurts has just been taking the easy decision.
But I don't think that's actually what they're even going to try to do. I don't think that's their number one game plan when they get down here near the red zone. I think they go, now we just tough up. We have a great O-line. We're going to win the trenches battle, and we're going to run the ball. We have some talented ball carriers.
Yeah.
Sure, they have some great receivers. I am not saying anything negative about A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith. I like them both. I thought they were both incredibly talented coming out of college. Even liked them both for fantasy, their own standalone value. But connected to the Jalen Hurts, the passer, not even talking to Jalen Hurts' like skill level. I just think it's easy for a coach or a coordinator, whoever's making the play calls, to look at Jalen Hurts and say, hey, maybe we'd rather have him roll out and actually just keep running the ball than throw it at all. So you limit your opportunity to those receivers a little bit. Dallas Goedert, you could be included in that as the tight end on the Eagles. I think they go Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, Jalen Hurts on the ground is what they would like to do. And hopefully the Niners prepare for that and they can stop that and get them to another dreaded 3rd down. And and hopefully they don't convert. Hopefully we see a turnover on like a 3rd down here because they've stopped them on running plays. That's what I would like to see. Here we go. Just like I said, a handoff to the right for that is Sanders. Looks like he got a couple there, almost blown up in the backfield. About 3 49ers had.
So even right there, that was an RPO.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Hurts made the wrong read. I mean, I guess I can't see the other side of the field, but it wasn't a great read.
Like,
you don't think he made the wrong read on that?
No, I don't think he did because I don't know that Bosa is the read there. And Bosa only got there at athleticism. And that's what ruined the whole play. Otherwise, I think that was a clean play. I think Bosa forcing him to take a wider angle around him, that's just athleticism breaking that play up, I think. Because there was no backer over the top. There was just a safety coming down from way back who was probably just in like some kind of like flat zone or buzz zone, something like that. Okay, Jalen Hurts rolls out right, forces an incomplete pass out of bounds, just getting rid of the ball.
What's the flag going to be?
What'd you say?
What's the flag going to be?
I don't know, but we got a close up on Dre Greenlaw's face. We can't have a flag here. Kyle doesn't look super happy, so it looks like it'll be on. On Mooney? Mooney Ward?
Illegal contact. What do we got?
On the tight end, Dallas Goedert.
I mean, they are 7-8 yards down.
Okay, that one's pretty friggin' ticky-tack, man.
It's a little ticky-tack, yeah.
That is some ticky-tack.
He wasn't inside the
free 1st down in the red zone.
Yeah, he wasn't inside the bump box, but yeah, it was. I mean,
I don't think that was a bump though. Like, I mean, I don't think that was anything, especially on a tight end. Like, a certain amount of stuff goes unsaid when the guy outweighs you by 50 pounds. Like, I mean, I don't discredit guys. I wouldn't throw flags quite as easily on a guy who's that undersized.
I feel like that's just like in every down play. Like that's like if we're gonna call that, then we got to throw flags on every single play. Is it a penalty? Maybe maybe technically by the letter of the law, but it just goes unsaid. Like,
So this is it. They've had 2 chances now at first down, and another chance at second down, and they haven't completed a pass. They're just running, and
oh,
this is
that's
it. This is when they give them a first down. I'm like, well, now when you have 4 chances to run the ball instead of 2,
yeah.
sure, yeah, easy.
Then
Because
you find a seam.
exactly. I mean, there's just a matter of time before a run play works. Don't love that.
So
I'm the
Eagles
first to say that.
touchdown by run to the left by Miles Sanders.
Yeah, 136 left in the second quarter.
Dude,
I'm the first to say that it's not the refs who usually make or break a game, and I'm not saying that's going to be the case here either. But like in crucial moments like that, I do think the league is getting worse about actually throwing those flags and not just letting them play in those big moments where it'd be pretty
yeah,
ticky tack.
yeah,
Here we are deep in the playoffs. That to me, just not really what you want to have. If you're the NFL, even, I mean, I'm not saying as the 49ers fan, man, even though I am the 49ers fan, man. If I was with the NFL, I'd be like, hey, man, I don't know that we love that. I think we want to let them play a little bit down there. Like that's what NFL football is kind of red zone action.
right.
But then again, they'll do whatever it takes to kind of feed the offense too. So hopefully
Yeah.
we get a little bit of that on the 49ers side as well.
They don't, well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, actually, I think what the NFL really wants is like less drives ending in field goals.
Field goals are
Like,
pretty lame. They
right.
are like,
So I think if you're the NFL, you maybe don't care about that ticky tack stuff in the red zone because you're like, I want them to score touchdowns.
Yeah. Yes, that's man.
It's tough when your team's on the other side of it.
It is. Sure. And I guess I'm struggling with whether or not I even care that there's more touchdowns. I don't really prefer that, but I do get that they're trying to like grow the sport, and they do think that the casual fan is going to want some of that bigger action to become kind of a more like thoroughly baked fan, to borrow like a term we use a lot in marketing, is just like baking your audience, like making them love you even more, making it so that like they go from somebody who watches your stuff sometimes to wanting to watch everything that happens. You need to crank that oven up, and
yeah.
Anyway, so what do you think of this AT&T commercial? I want to know because it's pretty annoying to me. I don't know if everybody's seeing the same commercials either. We're watching on YouTube TV. So
that's true. Yeah,
probably something different.
They like, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty out on most TV commercials, which is so funny because like that's actually what we do in our other job. Is not TV commercials though, but advertising. But yeah, right. I'm typically pretty out on most TV commercials. This is a good one. Who do you guys like in the next game? I think we're probably going to talk about this a little bit more at halftime, but what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the Bengals here since the Mahomes kind of injury. I had the Chiefs beforehand. I do think it matters. I think that they've downplayed it a lot. The Chiefs, I mean, the national media has definitely made sure to report on it. But even then, it's like the Chiefs are such a darling of the league. Like a lot of the coverage you see, Kyle Shanahan is pissed. He is not happy, and I am not either. He's saying exactly what I just said. Hey, here we are, deep in the playoffs. You call some BS? Ugh.
Yeah. You lip read it all? You lip read it all? You know what he just said?
We'll see. Maybe we'll pull out my inner John Boy and
he just,
make a breakdown.
basically he just said that's bull.
Tell you what, if the Niners win, I'll make a breakdown of this game.
TCAF said that the AT&T commercial is a terrible commercial, and I can only read that in Charles Barkley's voice.
Too. Oh, existing. No,
new, and we got a son.
I think what bothers me, and I'm sure they're trying to speak to like a broad audience, even if kids are watching,
it's too broad.
Nobody will admit they want to advertise to kids. Like they want to be like, no, we would never like try to like put our brand on a child's mind and try to get to them before they're too old to really consider their decision making and stuff. But at the end of the day,
I think cereal and toy brands are like, yeah, totally, it's exactly.
Well, they do that too, but even in something like AT&T, it's such like watered down, like just family friendly humor. Really, like why does it need to be family friendly unless you're targeting children too? What I mean by that is like that kind of like back and forth kind of like a kid who is willing to pay attention to that could get that joke. You know what I mean? It's like what adult is like, that's hilarious. Like I don't, not that hilarity is what sells your product, but at the same time, like who are you actually trying to the target here.
First down for Debo. I'll say this in their defense. Comedy is really tough, and bad comedy is sub-zero, right? So bad comedy is worse than if you didn't do comedy at all.
No.
Niners might have lost the ball, but I think they got it back.
Holy shit.
Bad comedy is worse than if you didn't do it at all. And that's what they have with that AT&T commercial is like they have bad comedy, but comedy is so subjective.
No.
Oh, that's the Eagles' ball.
Dang. Oh, man. What even happened right there? The Niners just selling right now. Josh Johnson, get out of the game, homie.
He could, and look at watch him be able to recover this, but like he's trying to salvage the play, and then finally he's just like, just get it. Oh, and then he bobbles it again.
Guy, you were there like 3 or 4 times. Move your body, Josh. He's like, my arms can only reach so far. Like, dude, shimmy around a little.
Yeah, dude, this guy is on fire. Yeah, anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. AT&T. Oh, yeah, I think it's pretty subjective because, like, that one kind of fell flat. But, like, think about the one that's, like, the keeping you from becoming your parents commercial. That's not AT&T.
Yeah.
But that commercial series is pretty funny. People think it's funny. So
those are, like, progressive, I think.
Yeah, is it progressive? Yeah, like, that's got a whole YouTube series to it and stuff now. So like, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think that sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. You know, I'm not faulting AT&T for writing a bad one or whatever agency they did.
This game so far, I've been keeping it together pretty good, but that
we haven't been on a stream yet where the Niners like lost. So like, I don't know what happens to Casey.
Well, like the Niners themselves are not. It's Josh Johnson. Like he just can't help who he is, and I don't hate him for that. But like, get Brock Purdy back in this game. We need him so bad right now. Like I never thought at the beginning of the season I'd be clamoring for your rookie
third string quarterback
back in the game, but I am.
I think.
Oh my God, they can't help themselves.
Is it going to be a free face mask?
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay. All right, you guys.
Yeah, I mean that's a face mask.
Let's clean it up a little bit.
You can't grab their face mask.
We can't complain about it. It's a real thing.
Yeah, we're not allowed to grab their face mask. Crazy. It's always been the case. It's not like that's a new rule.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think he meant to. I think he just that's where his hand landed, and then he gripped, and then he tried to let go of it, but it was too late.
Right. Agreed. I think that's what happened.
Man, this is not great. This is going to be another Eagles score at the end of the half too. But if they can keep him to a field goal here, it's not so bad. It's a 10-point game. This is interesting. TCAF says Joe Burrow is 3-0 against the Chiefs. I did not know that. Did you know that?
I think he might be calling that. I think he's 2-0 right now. I could be wrong. I think he's 2-0 against the Chiefs. And I got you. I think he's calling a shot. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll become 4-0. But yeah, he's undefeated, I think, against them, which is crazy because there's some crazy stat like the Chiefs in the last like 2 years or something. I'm butchering it a little bit, but the Chiefs are something like 31-3 against like all other teams, and then like 1-3 or something against the Bengals in the last 2 years or something.
Boston Scott touchdown run to the right.
Boston Scott, another running back that I didn't even mention.
Yeah, Philly's got a run game, that's for sure. Well, that's not great. I was hoping that for Niners fans that the Niners would be able to hold Philly to a field goal in this drive. But that's twice that they've scored with a run from basically 15 yards out. Like,
I mean, once you get past the first level, or really like the first and the second,
that
level
is the thing about the run.
Thing for the Niners.
If you beat the first layer of defense on the run in the red zone, then you can house it. Megan is asking, Purdy will be back after halftime, right? Question mark. How do you say that? Purdy will be back after halftime, right? We don't know. Like, it sounds like they haven't really given us an update on that.
I mean, just seeing him throw on the sidelines when it first happened, that can only mean a few things. It means he's close, right?
Yeah.
It means he's close to being put back into the game. Not necessarily time-wise, but like he can almost go. And
Well, it's gonna get all it's gonna do over there is get colder. If it's like an elbow strain or something like that, it's not
Right.
gonna get any warmer
That's what's
by him
concerning
just
me.
sitting there with his jacket on. So will they go into the locker room and give him a cortisol shot or something like that? Like, yeah,
Well, I
maybe.
don't know why
Maybe
they'd
that's the move.
wait until halftime to do that or anything, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know all the things that you would have to know to do that. But what I'm hoping is that I hope he can get back in there.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, for a Toradol shot, which is just a pain reliever, I've had those before, and they usually give you that. They say that its half-life is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours maybe. I think it's like 2 hours. So, like, for me, where my event would be like 10 minutes long, they'd be like, "You're gonna be at peak about an hour after the Toradol shot, half an hour after the Toradol shot to an hour after the Toradol shot." So if the second half is going to take, I mean, yeah, they should probably be giving it to him already if it's a Toradol shot, but that's more for
right,
pain, not for like inflammation,
right.
which
But we can't
cortisol
have.
is more
I
for
mean,
inflammation. And I don't know anything about that. And this is all, I'm not a scientist, disclaimer.
how do okay? I know it's alternate universe kind of stuff, John.
Mhm.
But have is winding down now. It's still a close game. I mean, it's far from over here. We have
Yeah. Two
two
score
score game.
game. Yeah.
I mean, it could be closer, right? But
I mean,
like,
if Niners fans have learned anything from 2019, it's that this is still a close game.
and it was 7-7 just a moment ago. A couple of big mistakes,
Uh-huh.
hugely from the quarterback position, Josh Johnson in particular. I want to hear from you. If Brock Purdy were healthy through this whole first half, what would you think the score would be?
So, I
No
mean,
wrong
so far,
answers.
from so far, what we've seen of him, I mean,
Well, he threw two passes.
it might still be 14 because on the Eagles side, they might still have 2 touchdowns because I don't know that he might have affected those that much.
Oh, Ray
Oh, we got
Ray!
a return. We got a return.
We got time for a play.
We got time for a play, maybe 2 plays.
No, no chance on two. So, especially because you need a good chunk. So,
Yeah,
you got to run. Yeah, I
just
don't think you have
throw it.
time for two, no matter how short
Just
they
chuck
are.
that bit.
Right, exactly. I think you need to convert a pretty deep pass here, call a timeout, and then pull the pull the field goal unit onto the team.
Oh, I got you. There's no time for 2 plays and a field goal. I got you.
Right, right. The second play would have to be a field goal, I think. I
Well,
mean,
the offensive line needs to protect him. That's first and foremost. They
I
haven't
don't
been
want
doing
Josh
that
Johnson
well.
throwing up a Hail Mary attempt anyway. Like, there's no
Yeah, see,
reason
and he
for
didn't get
that.
much time there either.
Well, he's
He
not
is not
using the space right. He's kind of doing that fade backwards, and he's like fading out of the pocket
right.
to
He's
where the
not
pass
stepping
rush
up
is.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or he could be like committing to breaking the pocket more. He's just doing that fade away thing.
Right.
It's so like it's just not a move, and the pass rush can sense where you're going to go, and your blockers don't know where you're going.
Your blockers don't see you. Yeah,
You know what I
well,
mean? He could have
they
fought through the
didn't
middle there. He
he
could have
couldn't
just
he
committed
couldn't have. Yeah,
rolled
number
out right.
55 took
He
up the
didn't do
middle.
either. He just kind of went in the squishy middle where
Yeah.
that edge defender is just going to close on him.
He
Like,
could have just rolled right. That was probably the move, honestly. Or rolled left,
yeah, or come
not
up the
right.
middle, whatever the heck it or whatever it was. But
Yeah.
I mean, this
Oh,
is
this is an
tough now.
interesting decision.
It's let's give the ball to Debo and see if he can play some hero
See if
ball.
he can do that. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, well, we go to halftime. Niners down 2 scores. Megan said that is how you say that with 3 question marks, by the way, in case you're wondering. So it was like I'm Ron Burgundy, but if there's 3, it's like I'm Ron Burgundy. It's gotta go high.
Time of possession 19 minutes in the first half for the Eagles, 11 minutes in the first half for the Niners. The yardage is not all that different, not too crazy different. Eagles have about 40 to 50 more yards than the Niners, but
Passing
14
yards
more
is where it
points.
is. Yeah, go
Pretty
ahead.
big difference there. John, I don't know about you, but I need a short break for myself.
Yes,
If you
we
need
have
one
like
as well,
a.
I have a graphic prepared that we could toss up on the
Let's do
screen for
that.
just a couple of minutes.
Like we'll be
Um,
right back type of graphic.
Triple Cross, don't go anywhere. We are just going to take a quick
Okay,
short break. The stream will stay live.
collectively,
Stay here.
everybody go to the bathroom right now.
Yes, this is the designated time to go get your refreshment, go to your bathroom break, get your snack, whatever you need to do. We will be back in 5. Triple Cross, we are back from our break, our designated break. Hopefully you are relieved.
Still with us.
That was a nice break. I had a shift. I've decided, you can't fight what's happened in the past. I've decided to look forward, and there's a key component to this. It's the same key, honestly. We had 2/3 of my keys to victory, like from the first quarter, already come to fruition, where Nick Bosa and Fred Warner look good again. The third one is Brock Purdy coming back into the game looking healthy. And here's what I've decided to think. Brock Purdy's career to this point, his entire NFL career, even his college career, he's the storybook. He's the quintessential storybook, like, NFL player. I think at this point, at this point in their career, who possibly could have a better narrative, right? To be some just like crazy fairy tale. Last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. He makes the team as a rookie, as opposed to, being sent down to the practice squad, which would mean clearing waivers and potentially being scooped up by another team after he performed pretty well in preseason. He has to wait on the bench as the second string quarterback. Turns out that the holdover from the season before, Jimmy Garoppolo, is retained by the team, so he gets bumped down on the depth chart to third. Trey Lance goes down, though. He's back to second. And quite a few weeks later, Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, and all of a sudden, Brock Purdy, last pick of the draft, is the starter. And this team proceeds to go on the longest winning streak in the NFL. I believe they're at 12 wins right now in a row. 11 wins, 12 wins, somewhere in there. I forget. And then he gets hurt in the first drive of the game against the one team that's supposed to really give them issues.
Right.
And
in the NFC anyway.
And it remains close for a while against all odds, even with some horrible QB play in there. You can tell how bad they miss him, but it's 7-7 for a long time. And you start to get hope as a Niners fan. You go, yeah, we can do this, Even if he's out, maybe somehow we get there with Josh Johnson. And then they proceed to go down quickly at the end of the second quarter by 2 touchdowns. I found out during the break that we missed something on this broadcast. One of those big catches on, I believe, the last touchdown drive by the Eagles. The commentators that we aren't really listening to as we're trying to commentate ourselves, they said one of those catches shouldn't have been a catch. Therefore, the Eagles may or may not have scored one of those touchdowns.
I did catch that.
We could be one touchdown down. But you know what? In the storybook that is Brock Purdy's NFL career, all the better. Yeah. Because this man, they were waiting until the second half for whatever reason. This man's about to try it out onto the field right now.
Do you remember when
nobody's going to like it? They're going to boo
Bobby
at
Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs win the Bourbon Bowl, do you?
Win the Bourbon Bowl? Nobody's going to like it in the stadium. There's a sea of green out there. They're in Philly.
Yeah.
They're going to boo him again because they booed him when he showed up for warm-ups, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
They boo the whole team, right? Like they booed all the whole team when they showed up.
They did. Okay, wait.
Hold on.
Okay, we got Josh Johnson out there. We heard a little bit of update on Purdy, except the update was a non-update. We don't know.
Yeah, the update sounds like no.
Sounds like
no. Is what Kyle Shanahan said. Sounds like no, he won't return. But they're coming out of a power eye here, so it looks like, yep. We're going to see if Christian McCaffrey can get something going. He can't with that.
Let me finish writing the storybook real quick because that was an immediate blow. But good luck, quick feet on this guy's part. I'm going to shift up the ending a little bit, similar
Fourth
to
quarter.
how somebody else is going to have to finish up the Game of Thrones book series after George R. R. Martin is dead because he takes 15 years to write a book. I'm going to do that right now on the fly. Josh Johnson's going to game manage this game to victory. The defense is going to come up with multiple key plays, maybe even a special teams big play. Brock Purdy is going to be healthy enough to make it back in 2 weeks to the Super Bowl. he'll still be the first rookie quarterback to
Ever
make the
start.
Super Bowl and the first one to win the Super Bowl, because there's no way Josh Johnson,
Yeah.
no way if the 49ers make it out of this game alive that Josh Johnson is starting for them in the Super Bowl. I would rather hire kind of like
Cam
the
Newton.
janitor from the stadium off the street, like
Cam Newton, someone's in shape somewhere.
I mean, Jim, you know who will be ready?
Jimmy.
Jimmy
Yeah.
would be ready
There we go.
in time. I don't mean he's ready to win the game. Jimmy would be healthy by then. It seems like, because he was super borderline in this game, and I bet right now they were like, I wish Jimmy would have been on
ready in this game.
the other side of the borderline.
Hey, there's a pass.
Josh Johnson missed Kittle wide open. We didn't even say it because it was just so heartbreaking. We didn't acknowledge what was happening on the screen, but Kittle was torn up about being completely overlooked by Josh Johnson, wide open on the right side. He might have literally been able to run that for a touchdown. Nobody on that side of the field. Josh Johnson comes back on the next play, hits Kittle
downfield.
Downfield, it through the air enough for the first down. Kittle, of course, adds on a couple of yards after the catch.
That was a great route by Kittle. That was a great fake. Yeah, that was everything. Everything there was great. I do think that maybe Johnson was zeroing in on him, so glad he was open, because had he not been, that could have been just another play breakdown. But
we got an offsides. We got an offside free play.
We got back on.
Oh, they whistled it off. Is it false start, or is it
either that, or it might be delay of game? The play clock was at 0.
Was that what that jump was? This would be the third delay of game call. I've been keeping track of those. Trey Lance in the shot behind Kyle Shanahan. He's like, that's funny. Brock could hear.
Yeah. Just run a silent count.
Jimmy heard me a couple of years ago. That's too. Man, you just. I'm thinking about it from a Niners fan point of view, and I'm not trying to accept defeat by any means. We're in this game still, but if we were to lose this, what you hate is that we lost it this way. We lost it losing our third quarterback of the season. This team, okay, let's just get a D lineman or somebody with just some body mass just to play quarterback for us, I guess, right? Is that what the secret is? It's just get the biggest, toughest dude. I mean, what's going on? The team could not be better around the quarterback. That is one national talking point I don't mind agreeing with. I'm usually the guy who's saying, I hate to just say the national talking points over and over again. Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I believe that. I believe Brock Purdy is the starter next year, no matter what happens here. This team is good.
Throws up. Oof.
I mean, you can't tell me that somebody can't step in and do what Josh Johnson is doing. Oh, no.
Yeah, what happens? Who's next in the progression?
No. You know what? Honestly, an emergency quarterback might be somebody like a Debo, just somebody who's a hell of a ball carrier. I know. I'm sorry I didn't let you finish. What happens when your QB4 goes down, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the question.
Because for those who might not have caught it, Josh Johnson looked to be a little wobbly getting up. They're showing a lot of replays, which I think the NFL might do to cover themselves. He's not looking good.
Yeah.
He's looking a little dazed, man.
It didn't look like he fell unconscious.
Christian McCaffrey, it looks like CMC might be the emergency quarterback.
That's who I was going to say, actually. Because I'm like, you could snap it directly to him, and that would be dangerous.
Said Debo. It's the other side of the same coin.
Right. Yeah.
They're both.
Well, and that's I bet both of them.
Brock Purdy.
Oh, I guess I'll throw some passes.
No way! Come on, Purdy! Let's go!
Oh, they're switching Christian McCaffrey's helmet out.
Let's go! Okay, I'm still excited about the QB upgrade. I think we just got.
Oh.
Hey, you know who has thrown a touchdown this season?
He's in the huddle. Brock Purdy is in the huddle.
Let's go, baby! Let's go, Purdy! Woo, 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 woo. He's back on the field.
I mean, they're going to have to run the ball a lot. Oh, no. They're not even putting a running back there with him.
It's CMC. He's in.
Okay.
Motion him down. So it looks like they might be in nobody followed him, so might be zone coverage. Means
okay. There you go.
Okay.
There we go. All right, let's get that run going.
This is still a good
the
drive.
Real question is, can he pass?
Happening.
The real question is, can he pass?
Well, I'm okay with that being the question because we know Josh Johnson can't pass.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. If he can't pass, you might as well keep him in anyway.
He
The
knows
other
the offense
team,
better.
the other team doesn't know he can't pass.
Hey, can
You know what
he
I'm saying?
catch
This
a
is like a
snap?
Jamie Lannister with the left hand situation. It's like
Yeah.
nobody knows he's not good with his left hand, right?
That's true.
Just
And
saying.
I still believe no matter what happened to his elbow, Brock Purdy is going to catch the freaking snap from Brendel and not fumble the ball away and give up points when it could have been points for us. Like this
Right.
game could be close. Had that
It would
one
be
possession,
it'd be 14. I think it'd be 14-7 still, but had they gotten the call right on that first touchdown, it would be 7-7.
yes, and also had that fumble because they were that they had a little momentum on that drive, like
Yeah.
a little bit at least. Like for this game they did, and I'm just assuming one of these cracked through a little bit, especially even if it goes that same game script there. Like it takes that long to get momentum. They had it there. As long as you don't fumble that ball there, that could be 7 for us. We could be sitting 14-14, or like you said, if they got that one call
Or
different. I'm not going to say right or wrong, but I'm going to say
14-7.
different. It could be 14. I mean, I'm saying in the best case
we
scenario.
can circumstantially back into a case where we're up by where the Niners are up by a touchdown.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not. Are you ashamed of that? I'm not ashamed of that. You asked what
He's
Casey
like, well,
would
if this
do.
happened, and if this happened, and if this happened, and then this happened, then we would have won the game. I'm just, I feel that there's a Yogi Berra quote here that I could say, but I just don't know what it is. It's a lot of circumstances. But I mean, I'm willing to go with like 1 or 2 circumstance changes.
We wouldn't be
just,
down if we would have scored more points than the other team in the first half.
Right. If we kept them from scoring points, if the Niners kept the Eagles from scoring points, and then on offense the Niners scored points, then the Niners would be winning.
Megan wants us to know it was the first touchdown.
Yeah.
That
brought them up 7-0.
Right. So just to clarify, because I didn't circle back to, I think you might have mentioned the right one, but I said the most recent one. So my mistake.
Yeah. No, I'm okay with going with like one circumstance though, that like maybe he just doesn't lose that snap deep in their own territory. You know what I mean? And
I get it. You're like 1 degree of separation away from reality is cool with you, but 3 or 4, no.
You're good with like 3 or 4 degrees.
But my main point in this is that like the Purdy one in particular is like it's not one singular event. It affects every drive, right? Like
I know
it's not one big play, one big call that going a little different does change everything. Obviously, that's not something that could have been helped.
If he can play this,
the refs didn't make a bad call that got Brock Purdy injured. You know what I mean? Like that didn't happen. Nothing like that. So I'm not saying that we're one event away from being ahead in this game by any means, but I'm saying there is a different game script, game flow that provides itself. Barring your third string quarterback at least can stay healthy in the game.
So when they come out in their next possession,
Josh Johnson's in the locker room. Oh boy.
Josh Johnson's going to the locker room, so it won't be Josh Johnson. So when the Niners come out in the next possession, tell us in the comments, or Casey, who do you think is going to be the quarterback? Do you think they're going to go with Brock?
It Brock? Is it CMC?
They were trying to switch out CMC's helmet, but they couldn't get him the right helmet or whatever, so they just sent Brock out there to hand him the ball. And that, so it seems like they're just going to go to the sideline and figure it out. But
let me ask you this, John. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No,
in a playoff game. In a playoff game.
A conference championship?
Yeah, not just a regular.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, we saw that helmet exchange. It was happening. There's fast action, lots to talk about. But you're right. That one camera shot, especially, like I've never seen something look quite like that before. This defense just refused to let the game get completely out of hand.
Yes,
I got to say before I just forget to talk about the defense.
3rd and 7. This would be a great 3rd and out because I'm just so curious. I got to know.
CMC has a QB helmet on, you think, coming out at least, right? No matter what, just in case.
Oh,
there's no way you send him out with the other helmet, right?
Well, what's the difference? Can he play running back in a QB helmet?
It doesn't have
a rule.
Doesn't have a microphone or a speaker.
Oh, yeah. If that's it, if it's just that, then yeah.
I can't understand any reason they'd swap his helmet out otherwise.
Well, I think some of the helmets are different, and like I've heard before, aren't there like regulations like running backs?
No, because you can have direct snaps to running backs, direct snaps to whoever. Like
that's true.
Nothing that way. It's because you want
it's just the microphone.
Yeah, or the speaker. The speaker. Yeah, I think there's no way you let CMC come out without that helmet on since you went to such trouble to get it to
assuming
him.
they have two of them.
I think Brock Purdy comes out. He's throwing the ball on the sidelines. For those who
Yeah.
aren't watching, I mean, we didn't really.
It's gonna be a punt. Gonna be punt by Philly.
Yeah,
here.
we're getting the ball.
I'd
This
love to
defense
see a
is
block punt.
sticking. If
Nope,
you
they're not
found
gonna
out
make it.
that the Eagles had 21 points at this point in the game, I think if you're a Niners
Just
fan,
a few plays,
and
honestly.
that's all you knew, yeah, you'd be like, "Oh, we were in it. We're right there, and we might be."
Yeah.
A touchdown here. It's a one-score game, and we
All
have
right, let's
good
see what
field
we can
position.
do.
We're on the 46,
Brock Purdy is
47
coming out.
yard line. Brock Purdy's trotting on the field.
And then he's coming back off. He's like, "Nah, it's a fake. It was a fake quarterback placement."
Okay, I'm gonna tee
This
the
is
ball
the
up
worst
here.
This is the worst commercial break ever.
I think I know how you're gonna answer this. I'm gonna set the ball on the tee for you. This is more about just like philosophy of team management kind of thing, stuff like that, coaching in general. Some people said when Lance went down that Kyle Shanahan put him in harm's way because they ran the ball too much with him. The defense of that in one sentence would be that Lance is the running quarterback and it was an option play. Lance feels like he can be most successful by tucking the ball there and taking off, gets injured on that play. But also Jimmy Garoppolo went down. So does Kyle Shanahan do something now that we've seen Brock Purdy also get hurt and Josh Johnson in the same game? Is there something about Kyle Shanahan's game, something that isn't super obvious, that you think puts his quarterbacks in harm's way? Do you see anything watching this game?
Every time I didn't see the Trey Lance one, but every other like quarterback injury that you're talking about has been on offensive line breakdown and like just defense getting to the quarterback. Right? Like Jimmy's was like trying to get away, right? And he like went down on that ankle. Purdy and Johnson both were like throwing arm, like somebody hit the throwing arm. Johnson it looks like it might be a head thing, but like it's not like it's like, you know, if you're asking me if I think that Kyle Shanahan like purposely puts like bad offensive tackles on the strong side of the line because he's like, you know, I just want to motivate those quarterbacks a little bit, I would say the answer is probably no. I mean, seems like a weird place to skimp, you know, but I don't know. What do I know? Maybe he's the genius and I'm not.
It is particularly it's funny because just the context I have of being like a really in-depth 49ers fan, and you just kind of tossing out, like I said, more like general philosophical stuff. There's no way you know the whole starting lineup of the 49ers. You know what I mean? And the tackles in particular are about as unbalanced as you could possibly be. The blind side is protected well. Don't get me wrong. Trent Williams is the number one tackle in the NFL. PFF graded. He is the fastest, strongest, biggest silverback gorilla is his nickname. He's an incredible guy. Team leader, super experienced, lots of experience in this scheme. The other guy, super shoddy in pass protection. Well, then how do you not snap the ball, Purdy? Come on. Okay, Debo with the ball. Let's go, boy!
Dancing.
Oh, they're going full backyard bullshit. Yeah. They're going full back. Okay. This is a bad sign in the short term that tells me Brock Purdy can't throw. Listen to the EA reporting.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if he can't throw. I thought Erin Andrews would tell us something more useful there, but she didn't.
It's all right.
Thank you for. She just told us that George Kittle's funny, so yeah, we already knew that.
Still love her, best in the biz. Okay, hey, we're gonna get what we wanted the rest of this game at least. It might be a little backyardy looking because we're in uncharted territory here, especially like you said in a playoff game, John. This is uncharted territory. But what I've noticed in the first two plays here, what did they do? Ball in the backfield to Debo. Just get him the ball. Don't let him not getting the ball be the reason this play doesn't work. Get him the ball. He couldn't make something happen, but he tried. And that speaks to me like they know kind of sums up. What do they do in the next play? Just get the ball to CMC in the backfield.
Yep.
I think we're going to get what we asked for here at least. If you're going to lose the game, we want to lose. Oh, Purdy's throwing pass. The ball.
Screen pass to Christian McCaffrey.
He's going to get about 3 out of that. Only back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be about 4th and 10. Niners are going to punt from here almost definitely, especially without a throwing arm on the field. Like, no matter what they do, they don't have an active quarterback arm. They have CMC's arm. That is the best throwing arm.
That's
it looks
the
like
best
they have
throwing
available.
arm that they have.
Purdy
available.
didn't throw a pass other than that, 5-yard sling on a delay, like a running back screen pass.
Yeah.
Little like ghost route out of the backfield kind of thing.
I mean, and that's a big problem when then the whole field becomes the red zone, right? When you know that they're not going to stretch downfield at all, when the defense knows they're not going to stretch downfield at all, then the whole game gets played within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, and it gets tough. That's tough for an offense. So in all honesty, the defense probably needs to come up with some stuff here. Like, they either need to get the ball in field goal territory, or they need like a defensive touchdown, but they don't need much, because I gotta assume they're probably not going to give up very many more scores.
I'm not going to lie to you, John. There's no way until the last seconds tick off of the clock that I am going to give up on the Niners potentially winning this game. So I'm going to continue to write game scripts that would favor the 49ers. And there's commercials pretty packed into these games. So thankfully, there's plenty of time for you to listen to them. Yeah. Here's the new one I have.
Yeah, well, because you got to rewrite that Josh Johnson one.
Exactly. We're going to rewrite again, just impromptu style. I'm looking for book deals. If anybody out there is a publisher that needs some new creative. Okay, so here's what it is. Essentially, like you said, your wording I liked a lot. Essentially, the whole field turns into the red zone, right? Where the space gets cramped. They can't stretch the field, so why not be more aggressive? Why not cover closer to the line of scrimmage? Why not make them show us that they can go over the top, essentially, right? Why not make them earn that? And I'm going to spin this. I'm going to say that could be something that is combustible for the 49ers. It could be something that creates a spark. Yeah. If there is some, questionable coverage deep because the Eagles are playing so close to the line of scrimmage, trying to be aggressive, putting a lot of pressure. I mean, forget about escaping all that pressure. Forget about beating the coverage. But the fact that the deep part of the field would be less covered, getting the guy like Debo, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, even George Kittle, open downfield, Kyle Juszczyk even, there's going to be stuff that we can scheme open.
Somebody can just throw the ball far.
Exactly. Christian McCaffrey has an arm. We've seen him throw a 40, I'm going to guess it was a 44-yard touchdown pass earlier in the season through the air, I'm saying, into the end zone.
Yeah.
Or right near it. It was a 40-plus yard pass. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
He can do that.
Yep. So somebody can just throw the ball far, expose that once, and then you got to score out of it.
And then you're in a one-score game.
Yep.
And I'll even take the backyard bullshit at that point to maybe score another touchdown.
Or a defensive touchdown or a defensive turnover in the red zone. Yeah.
We did see proof of concept that Brock Purdy can still throw screen passes. Right. So CMC, Debo, Kittle, Juszczyk, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, 49ers have more viable options than any other team for receiving screen passes that could go, 10-plus yards.
Right.
That I'm sure of on the team. This is all contingent upon, none of those scenarios. Did we mention the Eagles can score a bunch more points?
Yeah, if the Eagles score it really any much more than they have, that's what's going to start making it. These game scripts are going to start getting crazier and crazier. Like we're already calling for trick plays.
Let me ask you this:
game script.
Gun to your head. If I could tell the future and I could guarantee you the Eagles don't score again in this game, would you put money on the Niners being able to beat that mark at this point? Or would you say they already have enough and the Niners can't do it and they're doomed? What do you think?
No, not even a field goal.
7 minutes and 7 minutes and 15 seconds left. 3rd and 2 for the Eagles on their own 17-yard line. 17-12 in the third quarter remaining. Sorry.
You're saying they don't even get a field goal.
There's no more points scored by the Eagles, I'm saying.
Okay.
You could guarantee that. First down now. 7 minutes
I don't want to
remaining
kill the vibe. I don't want to kill the
in the
vibe, but
third
if I
quarter.
had to put money on it, I think I'd probably still say, like, I think it's going to be tough for him to get 2
Even better.
touchdowns and
Brock
something.
Purdy wants you to not believe in him. That's where he thrives. Honestly, I'm starting to think the reason he got hurt is because too many people started to believe in him. He's an underdog
Right.
story.
Too many people picked
the
I was
overdog.
watching pregame. I was watching pregame today, and a bunch of people were picking the Niners. Brock Purdy probably saw that, and he was like, "That's nah. We need to get this. We need to shake this up a little bit. Too many people believe in me now."
Do you think there's a possibility that while he was lacing up his cleats and he's putting his jersey on, he's tightening his pads, making sure everything fits, do you think he goes, hey, if I fake an injury
Yeah.
and Josh Johnson fumbles a snap and we give up 2 touchdowns right before halftime and Fred Warner goes down for a few plays and Nick Bosa goes down for a few plays, do you think then people will start to doubt me? Because
that's what
I'm looking for. Because I
think he probably thought that exact combination of words. Actually,
this MFer is just crazy enough where I wouldn't put it past him. This was all a part of Brock Purdy's design.
It was all
going just as planned.
I mean, we're basically making him a deity at this point. You know, like
basically we're pretty pot committed on Brock.
Yeah, we are. You're definitely pot committed on him. Our channel in general is pretty pot committed on him. They definitely can't be doing stuff like that.
No, they can't. They can't. But that's okay. They're moving down the field quick. Therefore, this is what I'm going to do the rest of the game. So just get ready for this. Therefore, they can't take that much time off the clock. They're chewing up yardage. That's yardage they could be doing 1, 2, 3, 4 downs to get a first down, essentially, on run plays where the clock keeps running the whole time. They could be wearing down the play clock the whole way.
Oh, there's
a lot of time left in this game. They just crossed midfield. They hit 50-yard line, and like a big defensive turnover or something like that happens, right? We're still only down the 2 scores, and there's still a lot of time left. In my opinion, we're seeing the Eagles not being afraid, which if I was an Eagles fan, agreed. That's how you should act here, is not afraid. You have a lead, a fairly commanding lead against a banged up team that is floundering.
Clock, yeah.
But if I'm the Niners, again, they don't seem afraid of us. Like, let's go show them why they should be afraid. This is the defense.
Yeah.
This is Brock Purdy is not on the field by design right now.
Yeah. He's not supposed to be.
Who just about made a play right there again, Jimmy Ward. At least he's leading our defense in assists, John. There's a new stat in the NFL called
what's an assist?
Defensive assists. It's like this, where Jimmy Ward has a pass breakup, which is already a stat.
Yeah.
But he also didn't secure the interception, which is already also a stat. But he makes the pass breakup in such a way that the ball decides to sprout wings and fly into the sky. Just ripe for the plucking.
That's called an assist.
And if the turnover is converted by another 49ers player, like Fred Warner last week, there was also a potential assist earlier in this game that I can't remember who had a chance at it. Beautiful downfield play by Trevor Ward right there. Jeez. But also right there, we had Diamador Lenore a couple plays ago, had a chance to convert the assist into a turnover, and he couldn't quite get there. It wasn't quite far enough. I just wanted to point out a different Ward, by the way, on the field. There are 2 different Wards on the
2 defensive backs.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be a fun little game. Ward or Ward, like who did what? Maybe that'll be something we do some content of.
Which Ward was this? All right. So Eagles are going to punt here and put the ball back into Brock the Glock's hands. Almost blocked that.
Almost blocked. They got a flag.
There's gonna be a flag.
That's gonna be roughing the kicker on a
near.
So if he blocks it,
that's
not a flag. But if he blocks it, that's not a flag.
Now what happens? Do we still get the ball? Niners still get the ball?
Roughing? No, they could. Oof.
Jeez,
man.
Blocking a punt is so risky. So is it going to be first and 10 Niners football?
So the Eagles are going to retain possession.
Jeez.
In that situation.
Wow, that penalties line really tells the story here. 8 penalties for 53 yards on the Niners.
Kyle Shanahan is losing it right now on the sideline.
Yeah.
Just completely chewing off the ref.
Is there an NFL version of like a technical foul?
You can get ejected.
That's it? Like it's like no technicals, like you just get ejected or not.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you would almost for sure get an unsportsmanlike conduct if you do something that warrants an ejection, especially if it's not just like a bad hit, you know.
Well, like just how hard he was yelling at the refs there, I'm like, man, that would
that's pretty par for the course, honestly.
Okay.
See, this is what is backbreaking, and this happened on the back of that other penalty that I thought was questionable. And again, I'm not going to chalk this game up to like it's, you know what I mean. Like any good team can overcome the refs if they have to, I think. But I do think it's worth pointing out that literally the play immediately following a penalty that I think a fair observer goes, I can at least see both sides of it. You know, that was questionable on the roughing, honestly, I think. And it's fingertips away from actually blocking. It's not like there's anything you can do in that situation.
Right.
Then they convert a first down. Jalen Hurts running the ball. Like it's the exact game script. It's like now they go.
So,
okay,
yeah, now
maybe we have a reason to be afraid. Actually, let's run the ball.
Yeah, a couple designed runs for Jalen Hurts in the last 2 possessions. I haven't seen any designed runs for him all game until now. So it seems like now, like you've kind of been saying, like maybe they were setting this up, right? And now it's like now you're going to see his legs. But yeah, I don't know, because he's been pretty underwhelming as a passer this game.
Yeah, he converted one really nice one early, and then maybe one more since. But this is
you get a hand on him and he still picks up 12 yards.
You know what? Honestly, is he all right? A late hit on that one.
Oh, that was a frustration penalty.
For sure.
And
ultimately, it's not going to result to much yardage for the Eagles, so it feels like they got cheated. Like, hey, he gets a chance to like take our guy out of the game, but we get like 3 yards essentially out of it because it's going to be.
Maybe it's not a bad frustration penalty.
I mean, mathematically, you hate to say it, but like mathematically for the Niners, it's not. And
no,
I wonder if that's on his head.
We're not calling for people to get taken out.
No,
of the game.
You don't want anybody.
But this dude in the neon, that dude's taken out of the game. Like, did you see that guy?
Honestly, okay.
He shouldn't have had his back turned.
I don't want players to ever get hurt. I don't want players to ever do stuff like that. That was uncalled for. I love Talanoa Hufanga. I don't like that play. I don't like that. But when the people on the sideline get flipped, man, I don't mind laughing at them because they know the risk. They know what their job is.
He had his back turned.
Yeah, no, I mean, half of them, not half, but a lot of them, their job is to look at the stands. The other half, some of the other half, they're holding a camera up, so they can't really, their physical space is weird to feel, you know, like through a camera lens. So, I mean, the whole sideline is really prime for
this
getting
guy.
flipped.
Let's see if we're going to see it again. Like we're not. All right, we're going to have a QB sneak here, trying to get in.
Oh, they're not getting in. Not on that.
Nope. They're too far away for a QB sneak.
Oh, I thought that was a ball, but that was a fanny pack.
Is that what the? I don't know if we should call it a fanny pack.
We're getting a little chippy. Okay,
so I don't know if a fanny pack's the right word for that. You know, like
I'm fully aware. It's a fanny pack. It's still a fanny pack. No matter how they use it, it's a fanny pack. That was a fanny pack, John.
It seems a little too like.
Well, I'm sorry.
Just not right.
Located on his fanny. It's a fanny pack.
It's a hand warmer thing.
Yeah, it is a hand warmer, but it looks like a fanny pack. All right, they're gonna do the same thing. I get you.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You got 3 downs to try it. They're gonna get in with that one though.
I mean, the refs would probably give them another 3 if they needed it.
Right.
Oh, shoot. Am I starting to say that stuff? Well, we're getting to the fourth quarter. Sorry, that was 43 seconds early. Fourth quarter is going to be all about all the things I said I wouldn't say. No, I'm going to continue We're just gonna keep rewriting the story here. Even big, you got to be down by a lot to have the greatest comeback of all time. And being last pick of the draft, getting to the NFC Championship just wasn't like a big enough underdog story for Brock Purdy. He needs to go down big to the other top team in the NFC here real quick. He has to go down by 21 points, 3 full touchdowns, with only 1 quarter left, and with let's just call it a broken arm because I'm not a doctor. Something's broken in his arm. I mean, of that I'm sure. It's not working properly. By that definition, it's broken. And Bradley Cooper's on the TV. Nobody knows why.
He's an Eagles fan.
Yeah, right. You knew why. That kind of pulled. That was a real no and, John. It was a real no and. In the shadow.
He's maybe he's like studying for a role as an Eagles fan. Maybe he's not really an Eagles fan.
Maybe he's gonna be in the remake of that, like Vince, whatever his name is, guy who was like the bartender who made the
that
Philadelphia Eagles
the one that Marky
team.
Yeah, the one that Marky Mark played last time.
Yeah,
I think Marky Mark to Bradley Cooper is a pretty straight across trade. Like, they're probably the same age. I don't know if Bradley Cooper's young enough to play that.
Nobody cares about that stuff anymore, John. He's more handsome man.
Did Mark Wahlberg?
Oh, are we doing this?
I mean, I don't know. If anyone's
drop it in the chat. Who's hotter, Mark Wahlberg or Bradley Cooper?
Or Bradley
Cooper. We need to know, apparently.
Well, okay, and then there should be a shirt off category too, because I think Mark Wahlberg for sure takes that one.
Okay. Well, I think there should be a holding a guitar category too, and Bradley Cooper for sure wins that one.
I don't know. I put a guitar in Mark Wahlberg's hands. I'm sure he'd look pretty good.
He'd probably break all the strings immediately.
Yeah, he might just break the guitar. Like he's like, how do I hold? Like his grip's just too tight. He doesn't know how strong he is.
What do you mean it's a guitar? I don't know how to play this thing. That's not a good Marky Mark impression, but
you did get you got the East Coast accent in there.
I heard Bradley Cooper learned how to play the guitar to play that guy in Star is Born.
I don't know if he learned how to play the guitar. He definitely learned how to sing, though. I did know that.
If you got cast in a movie to play a guy like that, would you consider letting people tell and publish a story about you just learning to play the guitar in order, like after you get cast to play the role? And then when it's like pretty good, like really good, people are like, and he didn't even know how to do that beforehand?
And he learned to play the guitar for that role.
Is this like Galaxy
so
Brain?
I would probably take some guitar lessons and be like, I learned to play the guitar.
But you can play the guitar already, John, for those not
but if I took further guitar lessons and learned something new, one might say that I learned to play the guitar. I at least learned to play it better.
Just saying. How do you feel about mentioning other like sports podcasts on our show?
I feel okay about it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just, I haven't had a long time to process my feelings about that, but
such things. We got to kick off to the 49ers here. We're going to continue to talk a little bit about the game and a little bit about other stuff in the current situation.
Flag.
There's so many flags on the field. There's hardly any action actually happening. It's probably against the Niners. Let's be real. Brock Purdy trotting out on the field for what it's worth. I mentioned other sports podcasts because we've talked about them. Shout out to the Fantasy Footballers. I watch that podcast fairly frequently. It's a good show. If you play fantasy football, it's helpful. They have this like listener league, they call it. They have thousands and thousands of fans, right? So they have a 12-person listener league. All 3 of the hosts are in it. Maybe a couple other fixed spots. I'm not sure. So they have like a 6 to 10 spots, whatever, open for random people, and they give those away on this like contest basically. And they say, just entertain us. Don't talk to us about football. Just entertain us. And I submitted to that once, playing a song. I rewrote a love song and basically like declared my desire to play fantasy football against them. And I don't think I've ever showed you that before.
I think you did show me it, but
did I show you that actually? It took me a long time. I did that.
Do we need to give the reveal that you did not make their fantasy football league?
I did not. I didn't. But
so clearly, Not
as we talk
quite
about
there,
like
but
playing the
I'm just
guitar and
saying.
stuff, it just kind of it came to me. Yeah, but so wait, did you ever actually answer my question? Would you let somebody publish that story about you that you just learned to do it?
Yeah, I would say that in order for me to, I don't know that I would really have any, it depends on the contract, right? Like, would I have any control over whether somebody published that story about me or not? I don't
That's a
know.
good point. That's a good point.
But in order for me to be comfortable with the story, if they were asking me, I would say, I'm okay with it if I learn enough, like take some lessons and learn enough new stuff about the guitar to where I feel like I'm significantly better at it. Then I would be comfortable with that. Yes.
I'd be like, post away, my friend. Like, whatever.
You
Like,
just
it's cool.
yeah, sure. I'll say.
Just ride the lightning,
I'll
like
say
just
whatever
let
you
her
needed me to
fly.
say.
Let her fly. Cause I mean, that's what the Niners are gonna have to do in this game now at this point. It's a let her fly type of thing. I find it very interesting. You did pose the question, what happens to Niners fan man when the Niners are actually losing and we're on a stream together?
Yeah,
We're
no, I was real worried that it was gonna be like just me talking and you
it's gonna
being
get
mad.
dark in here.
It's gonna get real dark.
And you are all gonna listen. No, it's okay, but I think there's like several stages to it. There was
There's
game
it's
script
grieving.
phase. It's what?
It's grieving. I mean, it's like grieving. There's like denial,
It's
right?
similar to grieving that there are stages. Yes, I mean I'm not
Yeah.
gonna let's. It's similar to grieving though. There are stages to it because we went through the whole like I'm just gonna game script how this could end positive, how we could still win, and then as that became less and less likely, I just go, well, let's game script how it could go even better than that, and Brock Purdy becomes the best story of all time, hands down.
Yeah.
And then it goes,
Which will still happen, but
hey, we're still in the game, like mathematically, they're doing some wild stuff. You never know, that might work.
yeah.
And now we're at a point where the Niners have the ball. We're half talking about other stuff at this point because it's hard to deal with. But I am watching the game.
There's the distracted phase.
Couple
just distract me with other things.
couple decent plays by Christian McCaffrey on that last play. A decently long run. I want to say it was like 8 yards, maybe 9. And then I think he was the one who converted the first down as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're still in that, like, hey, just make sure if you're going down the right way. And like, don't let it be because you didn't give Christian McCaffrey the ball. Don't let it be because you didn't give Deebo Samuel the ball. Don't let it be because Brock Purdy's arm is broken and he can't throw it 50 yards down the field, I guess. But like, maybe let somebody else actually take that shot. At this point, you have nothing to lose. And you're Kyle Shanahan, and you got to dip into your bag of tricks. You do at this point. There's, I mean, I wouldn't say this just because of the score or just because of the personnel issues, but with both stacked on top of each other, what do you have besides trying to pull off something, especially
Yeah, you kind of just got to get weird with it.
CMC spinning out of a tackle that looked like he was going to get stacked up and stop behind the line by a yard or two.
It's going to be another flag.
Pulls out like 3 yards by the end of it. Flag on the field.
Probably on the Niners. They're going to get called for wearing red on a Sunday or a Saturday. Yeah, it's a Sunday.
I mean, you said it, not me, but okay.
Yeah.
So, John,
they're going to get called for the shoe coming off.
Christian McCaffrey's shoes are falling off.
Flag. Foul. No, 2 fouls. No, that was actually on the defense.
They broke our QB's arm. They broke the next QB's spirit. He's still hiding in the locker room.
I actually bet Josh Johnson's fine. He's just like, I'm not going back out there.
Jimmy's smiling on the benches. Trey looks more concerned than anybody I've ever seen in my life, and he's constantly right behind Kyle Shanahan in the frame. Like, please let me be the starter next year. Yeah. Brock Purdy is just out there
here we go.
We're going with Samuel.
Going with some backyard stuff here. Samuel,
I might reverse
going to get a yard
4 times on this play. You never know. Deebo Samuel won't stop.
Yeah. He got a yard out.
John, who's the starting quarterback on this team next year? In your opinion? I'm not faltering.
Well, I guess I don't. So what was Jimmy G's contract? Was it 1 year, $6 million?
Yeah, he's off contract. They'd have to re-sign him.
They'd have to re-sign him. Is 6 million a lot? I don't know if it's a lot.
No, not at all. No, it's backup money.
Right. Okay. Um, what kind of trade value could you get for Trey Lance?
At this point, wow. Okay, first down, Christian McCaffrey doing it by himself, honestly. Trade value realistically. So just to recap,
He's on
people
a
sometimes
great
say
contract, right?
we traded away 3 first-round picks to get Trey. That's not exactly true. But we could probably only recoup. I feel confident we could get a second for him for sure. Yeah, I think we get a second. I think a second is my answer. I don't know that we'd get a first.
Jeez,
I think
it doesn't seem
there'd be a
good.
lot of teams that would make the trade for a third, and I think somebody at least would do a second.
That doesn't seem
GK.
good.
Okay.
Oh, Kittle trying to stay on his feet.
They are. This is the definition of scraping the barrel, but that was a 4-yard pickup, and on the stat sheet, that's a 4-yard friggin' like rip. That's a frozen rope, like to a toe tapping receiver on the sideline. Like that could be whatever you want on the stat sheet. It's a 4-yard play.
Yep. Yeah, I think starting QB. I mean, honestly, I think it's pretty tough to like just ignore Trey Lance. You know what I mean? Like the whole point of trading to get him was to get him and it doesn't sound like you can get much good trade value out of him now. So, I mean, it's got to.
I mean, I'm not saying that's what I want to have happen, but like as far as like an NFL player goes, not a lot of players could get traded for a second. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's decent trade value.
We do this a lot on what kind of player? What kind of player could you trade him for? Could you trade him for another piece that your team needs?
Just really quick, because there's plenty to talk about here. We do a basketball show as well, and basketball drafts obviously are hugely different. Draft picks are differently valued for sure. We talk about second-round picks like they're straight up garbage on the basketball show, which was different to me because I don't normally pay attention to basketball that closely compared to football, at least. And I always hear second-round draft picks. I'm like, good value.
Well, you traded how many? What did you actually trade to get him? To like trade for him?
Yeah, so the exact trade, we traded away 2 firsts and the first from that year too, but we traded up. So we went from number 12 to number 3 and added on the 2 first round picks
for future
from the next 2 drafts afterwards, which is
So I'm just going off of that.
So, by the way, after this draft, we're out from underneath that. When people say like we mortgage the future, I'm like, literally after April, it is all about the past. It's not the future at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, just hearing what you traded to get him, it's like so lopsided that you could only get a second for him now. You know what I mean?
Well, he got hurt, season-ending injury. We didn't start him immediately.
I get that. What kind of player could you trade him for? Like, is there a piece that the Niners need that you could trade?
You could probably get if you found like the right kind of like a key position. Probably not. I mean, you wouldn't be looking for a quarterback if you were looking to deal him. I don't think we're looking to deal him. By the way, I think he likely is on the team with his roster. I think there's also a penalty for not having him on the roster. So it's more of a hypothetical here, but for a player like him, like I said, if he's worth about a second, you could probably get somebody from a key position, maybe an edge rusher, but they wouldn't be a premier edge rusher necessarily. Maybe like an aging edge rusher, somebody in the vein of like a Von Miller maybe, but I think he's probably signing 1-year contracts from here on out. I don't know what he signed in Buffalo. Actually, I do think it was multi-year. So maybe somebody like that with like not an especially great contract, but a good player who's aging, like a great player who's aging, or a good player in their prime, not likely to ever be like a superstar, something like that.
Okay.
8 out of 10 at the position, but he's already at his peak kind of thing.
Well, so from what it sounds like we just won't re-sign Jimmy. Like the Niners just won't re-sign Jimmy. And then you're going to have either Trey or Brock. And honestly, I could see, I mean, I think it's got to be Brock. That seems like the A1 lineup, but it's kind of like, hey, it's Brock. And if Trey takes the job, he could get it. You know what I mean? Like if it's like, if he shows somehow that it's like, no, it should be his.
As a
Kind of
real
like Brock did,
Niners,
right? Like if he did what
yeah.
Brock did this year, you know what I mean? If Brock went down for a few games and Trey came in and it was like, oh, this is why we drafted this guy.
As a real Niners fan, I'm more worried about that. Honestly, I'm more worried about leaving the door open to like it's just a position battle, and then
I don't
Trey
think
winning,
it's a position battle. I think it's like, no, Trey's the backup, but like we're not
but he
closed
could
off to the
outplay him
possibility.
and earn the position before. You're saying before the first game of the season next year?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it'd be a similar situation to how Brock earned the position
Well,
this
of course,
year.
I think that's always a possibility. Then what you're saying, I think there's
Right.
always a possibility for in practice the two to pass the one if the one's not producing on Sundays. I think that's possible for sure. If
Right.
that were the case and Brock Purdy were winning games for us and he had good stat lines and not even about the stat line, but more about like he's performing on the field, I would hope that that's not really a possibility. Like it's the starter's job to lose. That's why you're the starter, right? Like
Right.
usually. So you're saying Brock Purdy would be the starter going into the year, though, at this point,
Yep.
regardless, in your eyes?
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean,
think so.
depending on how bad his elbow is, but yeah.
Unlikely it's something that would
Unlikely
be
it's that bad. Like if he needs surgery on it or
he's
something,
in the
it's not.
game right now, for God's sakes. Like, if it
He
was
hasn't thrown the ball though. I mean, I guess
he
he
did
threw that
throw it
little
once.
screen
He threw a
pass.
swing, a little screen. Oh,
Yeah.
lineman on the Eagles goes down. Now it's just NFC, like on NFC. We're just hurting each other. Whoever comes out of this conference is gonna, at the end of the day, we're all part of the same NFC tribe. If you're fans of either one of these teams, and we want to have a good showing against the AFC,
Well, let
people
me
count
ask
out
you
the
this.
NFC all the time somehow. When the NFC has won, they won the last Super Bowl with the Rams. They won the one before that, right, with Brady, right, and the Bucks. Who was it before that? The Chiefs in 2019. So the AFC got that one. But like people discount the NFC all the time, but they won the last two freaking Super Bowls, man. What do we have to do to get some respect around here? At the end of the day, we do want whatever teams to win this. I'll say right now, I would prefer whatever team wins this game, I want to win the Super Bowl.
Well, let me ask you this. Does what you're saying hold true if it were a Niners-Cowboys game right now and the same thing was happening? Like the Cowboys were winning and it was going to be them that went to the Super Bowl. Would you be like, no, F the NFC. I'm out.
There's the
You're
NFC.
like, no, it's not always NFC ride or die.
John, you need to listen to me, and this is important for you to know.
Okay.
There's the N, and this is the real thing. There's the NFC, and then there's the AFC. Okay. And then there's the Cowboys, and that's just the way it goes. All right.
It's just, yeah.
And maybe you put the Seahawks in with the Cowboys, honestly.
Yeah, that's the other team I was gonna say.
And that's
the other
how
team I was gonna say, where you're like, yeah, I'm NFC ride or die unless it's the Cowboys or maybe the Seahawks. If it were the Seahawks against an AFC team that you particularly didn't like, then I could see you being like,
yeah. Obviously, I'm hyping it up a little bit. I don't think there's a
single team in the league that you would cheer for the Cowboys over.
I don't think so. I think the Cowboys are as bad as it gets to me.
Yeah.
And then the Seahawks are probably like, if I'm being honest, it's somewhere in the 25 to 30 range. Like, I don't think they're the next couple teams. Like, there's some just clunkers out there,
Right. Yeah.
But I don't need to talk about it. And sometimes I embrace those, like the Commanders have been a dumpster fire for decades. And somehow it was kind of fun for me to root for them this year, like every once in a while. Like, I'm not a Commanders fan per se, but like,
yeah,
I kept finding myself when we would do our picks, like, if I got to roll the dice on a team,
Commanders.
Like when Taylor Heineke's out there just kind of like slinging it around, and you're like, this guy's a wild card. Like,
well, they beat weren't they one of the Eagles' losses? I thought they beat the Eagles.
One of their few losses. Well, they definitely beat the Cowboys, which was hilarious. That was their last regular season game of the year, I think.
The week after the Cowboys beat the Eagles.
I think my my Brock Purdy fandom, me declaring that Brock Purdy is the hottest thing since sliced bread, basically in the NFL as a rookie, at least. This storyline is what I mean to say, and I think that there's some truth in that, and the consistency point of view from me, that like I talk about Taylor Heineke in a similar way. I love a good story at quarterback. Who doesn't, honestly? But also, if you're gonna have a story around a guy, they need to be a certain amount of like, it's got to have some of that, like they got to have the moxie, the gusto, and they got to have the ability to also make big plays. They can't be a Jimmy, right? The reason why Jimmy was hard to get behind. Other than he was good looking. That was the easiest reason to get behind him. But the hardest reason to get behind him is because it was hard to get big plays out of Jimmy.
Right. Yeah,
all the big
it's
plays were created by the receiver or the running back who he would throw to.
This is going to be another flag on San Francisco.
I mean,
for like basically he just like kind of he just hit him with some kidney shots.
Yeah, no.
No, he's trying to hit the ball.
No, that's clean.
He's trying to hit the ball.
That was the ball.
Yeah.
I think he hit ball both times.
It didn't look like it. It looked like he was just trying to brawl, but like if they review that, he's definitely trying to hit the ball. And I think he did hit the ball.
They don't review penalties. I think with the Sky Cam, the Sky Judge, though, that is something they're kind of changing. Which, if you listened to a rant I did on the Sky Judge like 3 or 4 episodes ago, maybe, I don't know. I like what they're doing with the Sky Judge. I still don't like the actual rules that they're coming up with in the NFL, but at least there's sometimes they're getting better about how they call them. That's the biggest compliment I can give the NFL.
So what happened? Did they call it on him?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, sounds right. Sounds about right.
I don't even know what they called punching.
Yeah, what do you call
unnecessary roughness?
Unnecessary roughness, maybe.
It's an interesting experiment.
Well, the Eagles are in the red zone again. You think they get a touchdown out of this?
I mean, at this point, maybe. You know,
I mean, like you said, it sounds like the refs might, give them enough chances at it. So what do you think? What do you think? Well, don't give me like the Casey, like, here's what I think, about Brock Purdy. Give me what do you actually think will happen next year? Do you think that they will go back to Trey Lance? To me, I think that's so hard to justify. Like, how do you go back away from someone who has never lost a game and has played plenty of them, I guess you could say he lost this game if he loses because he's played
tough. It's tough to put it. You know what? I think that it'll look like that on the stats, maybe, and people who weren't watching this, which if you don't watch the NFC Championship game, like you're not a real, you're not a real fan, but really you're not like a super obsessed fan of the NFL for sure.
Right.
And so if you just look at the stat sheet years from now, this won't look like a good game, but I mean, we're losing this game, right? I mean, that's going to happen. We probably have a 1% chance, maybe.
I mean,
to win this
side
game.
note, this guy's cut off hoodie on the Eagles sideline is pretty top notch. We should get some of those, some triple cross.
Oh,
it's not even a full cut off. It's just like the sleeves are really short, and it's a hoodie.
I like
anyway,
that.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there. I mean, I think important,
anybody who's paying attention at all, especially if you kind of know what it was coming into this, like Brock Purdy is the hero of this season. I mean, still, and this game wasn't good, but he got injured on the first drive. He threw 3 passes all game, and he came back into the game when obviously he was medically cleared. I guess he was, but they didn't want him to come back into the game. He was too hurt to play. Too hard to throw.
Yeah.
And
clearly not.
When the new backup, the real 4th string, the guy we signed off the street basically halfway through the season, couldn't do it because that's what a 4th string quarterback is. I don't know how separated you are from training camps and stuff. This guy was not a training.
He's not been here all year. Yeah.
He's not been here for most of the year. He can't do it. He gets hurt. He can't go back in. Brock Purdy comes in just to take snaps. I mean, he goes, no, you don't put in the emergency quarterback. You put me back in. There's something to say about it. There's something still I hate that we lost this way, but also in losing this way, it's one thing that even the Brock Purdy haters can't blame it on him, his performance. At least you can blame it on, he got injured, I guess. Weirdly, if you're a psycho, but
it's his fault for getting injured.
Yeah, exactly. That's fair, I guess. If you think that's fair, but you can't blame it on he just didn't play good enough, that he didn't have couldn't. So, I think it makes it easy to stick with him. It's the one exit from the playoffs besides losing in the Super Bowl, maybe, where you other than winning the Super Bowl and exiting in the Super Bowl, where you're they probably would have made the Super Bowl. So there's still maybe a top 2 team with Purdy. I think it's very easy to ride that into next season. It's not like he did something horrible and he completed 40% of his passes and he threw 40 of them in the game. He didn't do something to lose the job, and he actually did come back in, take these snaps. It's his team. It feels like it's his team right now. Even though they're losing, this feels like one of those things that's really like what's the like carterizing them? Like it's his team. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right word, but like
kind of burning them together.
Yeah, there's something else, but you got it.
Yeah, so that's your actual prediction that the Niners are going to go with Purdy, and then Trey Lance will then be a backup?
I think it actually behooves Lance too to remain in a backup role. Weirdly, I mean, at this point, I was never the guy who was like, I think he should stay a backup. I'm kind of like throw him in the fire, let him pick up his experience along the way. But at this point, he didn't play because of the COVID year, his last year in college. Then he didn't play last year because he was behind Jimmy in the depth chart, and that was the plan. Then this year he got hurt in the second game of the year. He played less than 5 quarters of football, and he sat the whole year too. It's 3 years without playing a real game of football.
Right.
I hate to say it, but like Trey Lance might be default a backup just by nature of like him not playing the game for so long.
Right.
Until he actually gets the chance to be in, and then sparks happen.
It
would require sparks happening. I think he has to earn a starter spot now.
And let's not pretend he didn't go to, what was it, North Dakota State? Or
I don't think that would have happened, by the way, if Brock Purdy didn't look good, though. It would be Trey Lance's team. I'm not saying he did something that lost the spot. I think Purdy took the spot from him.
Exactly.
And now, just because you happen to be on, TCAF actually dropped it into a comment on our last video. It is unfortunate for Lance that he actually ended up in San Francisco, even though at the time it looked like the best spot for him, and it probably was if he were playing, but he got overtaken by another guy who could do the job just as good or better, it seems like. And as long as he can remain healthy, that guy should be in the game. Doesn't matter where he was drafted. But Trey Lance is on I think a year longer contract, and it's still a decent QB contract, even though it's about as expensive as it can get for a rookie. It's still a good backup contract, so that's what they're going to do.
Oh, Debo's going to try and return it.
Yeah. They're in oh baby, he's gonna
return it.
No, he's not.
Not for a touchdown, but he got 30. He caught that deep in the end zone and got 30.
I'm not going down in these colors. I'll be right back.
You're not going what?
You talk for 30 seconds. I'm not going down in these colors.
Oh man. Yeah, so Casey's current jersey and hat stack is undefeated, I think. So he's got to go change it out. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think honestly, if you're Trey Lance, like that's the other thing I was going to say about Trey Lance is, and when Casey gets back, I'll ask him to comment on it. Is that like, let's not pretend he didn't go to, I think it was North Dakota State, whatever it is. They're not even a BCS conference. They're in Division I AA or whatever they call that now, Division I FCS, I think. So like, he's not even Trey Lance. That is not even that proven against the top like talent there is. So it looks like Christian McCaffrey will be taking snaps now. So they're not even putting Brock Purdy in the game anymore. A little reverse. McCaffrey throwing. Nope. McCaffrey scrambling. McCaffrey throwing deep. I guess he threw it away. Yeah, so Niners going full backyard BS right now. Doing double reverse flea flickers. I guess it wasn't a flea flicker. All right, Brock Purdy coming back into the game now. That was weird. Don't know why they did that. Just like a trick play where they snapped to their running back. So you already knew it was a trick play when they started. It's a really strange move. In any case, yeah. I mean, finishing the thought on Trey Lance, like he didn't really even – Trey Lance has never played against the top competition. Even in college, he looked great, but he was still in the FCS. So it's like not pretend that he wasn't that. Switch to the red, huh? Have those colors lost before?
It is what it is, I don't know. Probably. But
the green's never lost, right?
I'm rocking 19 problems now, so we're with it.
The green's never lost before, though, right? Am I right?
The green has never lost. At least this season, undefeated, but also it's the color of the enemy, so
yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
TCAF hit us with a start bench trade, Lance, Purdy, Jimmy. I think that one's easy. I think that's what we've been talking about, right?
I mean, if those are the options, you gotta
Start Brock.
keep Purdy. You gotta cut Jimmy. You gotta trade Lance.
Trade
for
Jimmy.
the value.
Yeah, I mean you can't trade. Oh, well, yeah. Start bench trade is the.
Start
exercise.
bench trade. Oh, start bench trade. Maybe different.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, because then you might bench Jimmy.
If the contracts were all the same.
We got a fight.
We got a situation.
There's a situation on the field.
That seemed like it was so slowly escalating.
What happened?
That's what
this
I'm
is what
saying.
happens when you stop paying attention.
I mean, I wasn't I was watching. It just seemed like I didn't see any fist thrown.
Hold on. Both teams to the sideline is all they're saying. I'm going to turn up a little bit here, so I might not be able to hear you as good, Casey.
No problem.
But I don't know. I can still hear you all right. So while they're sorting through this.
Okay, Trent. Oh, okay. Trent Williams with the choke slam. Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah.
I'm not digging this look for my Niners, honestly. It's been a rough game. There's no excuse.
They kind of look like I don't know. Just like bad losers, Yeah. Like they're bad, they're being all.
Yeah. I mean, I could sit here and make excuses, but there are none.
Yeah.
Now that I've said that, this has been an especially tough game. It's not an excuse, but it is just true.
Oh, this is interesting. TCAF's take on that start bench trade. He would start Jimmy, bench Purdy, trade Lance.
Why?
Dude, out of that, TCAF, you're smoking.
TCAF, you want a link? Let's hop on here, bro. Let's talk this out.
Yeah, you got to explain yourself.
You need to be talked off the ledge. Jimmy, I like Jimmy. And I could even see this start Purdy, bench Jimmy, trade Lance. Jimmy's a better prototypical, or archetypical backup to Purdy. Right. You could run the same offense, essentially, close enough. And trade Lance because, the value. 71. Oh. Maybe. Okay, so sometimes with these replays, you only catch the retaliation. I doubt that Trent Williams completely unfounded chokeslammed a guy. You know what I mean? Something happened that they didn't show on that one replay.
Yeah, so they threw him
at this
out.
point. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's of no consequence basically at this point. Let's be real.
That's crazy. That's all they do.
They're going down. Okay. This is not the Niners who go down because they were up 3.5 quarters of a big football game and they couldn't make a big play. This was, and they didn't go for it all. These are the Niners who they're down by a lot because of situations they couldn't control. And as they were going down, they go well, if we're going down a certain way.
It's not going to be pretty.
That's fine. Can't make it easy. Kyle Shanahan is just beside himself. He's we're losing this game, but I hate you. I hate you, guy.
Yeah.
Trent Williams.
And the announcers were just saying if you're the Eagles, just put any key players, just move them to the bench at this point.
I mean,
which I guess I don't disagree with.
That would be smart. Niners are a wild card.
Yeah, they might be trying to hurt us. Who knows?
Well, at this point, you're done, and you're thinking. I mean, I guess in the moment, you normally wouldn't be thinking this, but you almost are thinking next season now because they aren't even big play capable right now without a throwing arm.
Right.
So and I heard I was away, but I heard CMC threw a couple passes.
He threw one
looked
pass.
Awful.
There wasn't even a receiver in the vicinity. I'm surprised he didn't get an intentional ground.
Did he spiral it, and did it go more than 10 yards?
It was pretty wobbly, and it went about 40 or 50 yards.
And Debo fumbled.
It. Jeez,
This is a tough one.
That's salt in the wound, man.
Well, I mean, it's like we talked about. They're coming downhill quick because they know there's nothing happening upfield or downfield for the offense. And
there's still 4 minutes left of this, man.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all right. I think at this point, even if you're the Niners, it's you just throw some younger guys out there and see what you got. The season's over at this point.
Yeah, might as well.
It's still a good season. It's a top 4 finish. You could always argue you're at least the third best team, and you could always argue hey, if one of our 3 first quarterbacks stay healthy, were at least in the Super Bowl. Like, you could argue that at least. Like, again, I'm not trying to just be
I
drowning
think,
in faith for my team. I think that's a fair take. Like when you lose 3 quarterbacks, before the before the 3.5 quarters of the NFC Conference Championship game, like it's a tough ask to say that they could win.
I think
Josh
I mean,
Johnson's here.
it definitely puts to rest my theory that my grandma could lead them to the Super Bowl. Though I do think she could have done a better job than Josh Johnson.
And I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you pointed that
my
out.
grandma's a gamer, at least. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know that it's exactly fair that on this show I ask you to be like a completely objective opinion all the time, even though you try to be.
Yeah.
You do hear a lot of subjective stuff from me. And I don't mind being subjective about the Niners. I think about the rest of the league, I'm pretty okay.
Pretty objective. Yeah.
Yeah. But when it comes to the Niners, sure, of course. Literally, it's in the handle. Niners fan man. I'm a fan before I'm a man. I didn't really think that one through, but
I'm okay with that order.
And the Niners come first, and then there's an underscore. I don't even know what that could mean.
It's separating. It's like Niners are separated from fan or man.
Follow me at Niners_fan man on Twitter and YouTube. Yeah,
are you on YouTube as Niners fan
I don't
man?
mind being subjective. What's that?
Are you on YouTube as Niners fan man?
Yeah, YouTube. It's a recent feature in the last month where there's handles now.
Oh, you can just have like a personal handle.
Well, I mean, our channel does too. I think it's probably at Triple Cross Podcast, or it might be the same as the Twitter.
Right, I know, but like, do you do anything from your personal handle?
Do I do anything?
Yeah. Like, do you post?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you post anything or?
No, I don't publish stuff. Well, I mean, I did bring it up because that is where I have the that's the only place where the submission I made for the fantasy footballers lives is on YouTube. It is a private video that I sent the link to them too. But I was like, would that be funny if I publish that? Like, I don't know. Should I flip that to public? Like, should I?
I mean, I think if anyone in the comments, if literally anyone in the comments says, yes, I want to see it, then you should flip it to public 100%.
If you want to see me play the guitar and sing a love song to the hosts of the Fantasy Footballers podcast.
To 3 men. 4 men? 3 men?
3 men.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, let us know and I'll post it. Sure, why not? I do plan to post the video or some version of the video of the cornhole tournament that the playoffs, the league playoffs that I won with my dad, who's my partner. I don't know if I actually said that on a stream before, that he was my partner in that league. But my dad, actually, shout out to my dad. He was down in Albuquerque these last couple days, this weekend, and he played in a few tournaments down there, a few open tournaments. Which
was he down there for that?
Yeah, open tournaments are big, like national tournaments, basically, and he's accumulating points, and he's
he's like toying with the idea of going pro in cornhole.
I mean, pro it would be like I don't even know that that's a goal of his, but I think he could do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's for those who don't know, like going pro in cornhole is a thing. Not a lot of people do it though. In this area, we have 2 pros right now, but we have kind of a whole scene, a whole like league of players that I don't put myself in, by the way. I'm not counting myself, but there's probably a dozen or so players that are in a similar category to the 2 pros in this area that I play in. And I wouldn't say my dad's out of that group. So, any given tournament, I think it's about winning key things and qualifying for stuff. So maybe I'll post that. Maybe you'll see some action.
Casey Cornhole. You're going to have a YouTube at Niners fan man that has like nothing to do with the Niners. It's going to be all cornhole.
It could be. I mean, I thought about starting cornhole.
You'll wear Niners stuff because that's most of what you own.
Definitely. I mean, most of the videos. I mean, earlier in this stream, I mentioned that it just closed on a house. We're moving in soon, and I do have a shop that I plan on making into a little cornhole dome to some extent, where I do want to shoot some cornhole content and maybe post onto some page. So maybe there'll be a new cornhole channel coming.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I do want to
4th
come
and
back
2,
to this.
2 minutes left. Eagles up 31-7. This game's over. John, what's up?
Oh, I was going to come back to TCAP's comment about starting Jimmy, benching Purdy, and trading Trey Lance. I kind of want you to defend that. Like, I don't, even if you don't want to get on a link, just even in the comment, like specifically why start Jimmy and not Purdy? Because that doesn't make sense to me. I think Brock Purdy's better. Is that a common take? Would you say that maybe like not everybody's sold that Brock Purdy's better than Jimmy?
I think it's a valid take. I don't know if most people at this point would think that. Especially because like most of the people who'd even like weigh in would be Niners fans, and it's pretty easy to get swept up. Take it from me. It's pretty easy to get swept up into the emotion of Brock Purdy, Purdy's ascent into the NFL and into the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. If you don't believe me, check out the 6-minute video on our page where I thoroughly explain how it's obvious and only acceptable that Purdy is ranked among the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
You legit like, there's not 10 quarterbacks you'd rather have than Brock Purdy.
I do want to defend it. One dude on Bleacher Report said I was nut dragging or something. Like, I don't even know, like times 10, which I'm like, that sounds like a lot of nut dragging. And I'm not.
What like nut
sure.
is that like nut dragon DRAGON like a nut dragon, like a fire breathing nut dragon?
That is not. But
okay,
that could. I mean, you could pretend that's what it is. Eagles win, by the way. It's official. Cool for them to go to the Super Bowl. Anyway, back to, some dudes did say like basically like, oh, you're just a Brock Purdy fanboy, and I'm like, well, I mean, come on, Brock Purdy is like the guy on my team right now. I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy of the team, and I think he's had a good thing. I wish we could, even if the Niners had to lose, like I said, it does work okay for reputation for him, but I do wish he would have lost straight up and had a chance to play in this game. It's not really playing what I would call what he got to do in this game. He got to like exist in the game without an opportunity to really succeed after he got that injury early. And he just had enough, courage, and he allowed himself to go back into the game when they needed him, but it was clear he couldn't throw. They didn't even try to throw with him. So,
right. One random piece of information, nut dragon.
So, guys, follow me on Twitter at NutDragon. Check out my website at NutDragon, www.nutdragon.com. No, I'm just kidding. We don't. I mean, we better go jump on that.
Dragon. Like, what would that be? Is that like a dragon that exclusively eats nuts, or is it like?
Or
I'm trying to make it cleaner.
Out like fire.
Like nuts, or like peanuts and cashews and that kind of nuts, or like
here's what it is. Here's what it is, right? Here's what it is. Peanuts, you can buy peanuts in a bag, right? You can buy them with a shell on, right?
Sure, yeah.
Or you can buy peanuts without the shell on, right?
As far as I know, yes.
So like somebody had to deshell them, right? Oh, you could also buy peanuts like salted, right?
Yeah, and roasted.
Somebody had to salt
them.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. You can also buy them roasted. Somebody has to roast the nuts.
And it's a dragon.
Who better to roast nuts than a nut dragon?
I got you. Yeah. A nut dragon.
Drogon
the nut dragon.
Who's the top hat and the peanut? Mr. Peanut. No. Feels like that's not the name of the brand.
It doesn't seem right. Yeah. Like it seems like it should have a different name.
Bad branding. If you can remember the name of the mascot before the name of the brand, bad branding.
Yeah.
Bad branding.
One piece of information that you maybe knew already, Travis Kelce is a game time decision later day in that Chiefs Bengals matchup. If Travis Kelce doesn't play, then I change my pick.
We might have a Bengals Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I have at this point, you got the NFC. Wait, did you have the Eagles going in your bracket?
No, I didn't. We both had the Niners going, and
you did.
You said that you'll take any AFC team over the Eagles last time.
And I feel more confident it'll be the Bengals after hearing that Travis Kelce is either not 100% or might not play at all. I feel like it's going to be the Bengals probably.
Okay, so
Mahomes is not 100% for sure.
And you're confident in Bengals over Eagles.
Yes, honestly, as much as it sounds like it's subjective because, I'll break the facade for a second. I'm at Niners fan man, mask off. This is Casey. Um, the Eagles didn't do anything to
I
prove.
don't think it's a mask. I think that's just you.
Shut up,
It's your
John.
default.
Shut up, John. Shut up. Shut up.
Okay, but yeah, take off your hat. Take off your bias hat. Go ahead.
The Eagles didn't do anything in this game to
Impress you.
Obviously they're impressive. They've already impressed me. So no, that's not what I mean to say. What I mean to say is like they didn't. The way this game went for the Niners, I'm not blaming the refs.
Yeah,
that is what it is. That's fine. This game was totally legit. The Eagles won the game, but with Brock Purdy getting injured, with the lack of like capitalizing on some turnover opportunities, with the amount of penalties that the Niners committed, not saying the refs, just forget about any questionable calls. The Niners committed a lot of penalties. The Eagles could have really done a lot more in this. Like it was still pretty close for most of the first half, and Purdy was not available for most of the first half, so they should have had a lead earlier. They did grab the lead before the half, and then they did hold them off, but the Niners converted some first downs without a freaking quarterback, man. Like, what about teams that have a quarterback? What about a team that has Joe Burrow as the quarterback? What about when the Cincinnati Bengals roll up into the Super Bowl matchup against you and you're Jalen Hurts and you're able to run the ball for 10 yards? Sure, that's great. Joe Burrow is able to throw the ball, for 400 yards in a game, like no problem with all the studs he has around him. Like they're a complete offense. They're a pretty good defense. I think the Eagles have the better defense, true to my NFC takes, but the offense is so much better that it's going to be tough. And I don't think that the Eagles actually even showed that they're as dominant as we thought running the ball against a good defense like the Niners. They didn't run
they had like
all
3
that
rushing
great
touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns if you count that QB.
I mean more like they had to grind out third downs, fourth downs pretty much throughout the whole game. The offensive side of the ball wasn't incredible.
Well, whatever AFC team they face is not going to have a defense like San Francisco.
No, but the Bengals defense is pretty good. The Bengals defense is pretty good.
Yeah, so but you're assuming Bengals. So let's say Kansas City comes out of the AFC. Yeah. Are you still AFC over the Eagles?
If the Chiefs beat the Bengals at this point, I don't know what's going on with Kelsey 100%, but it's going to be a Mahomesian show, I think, or a complete Bengals flop. But even against that KC defense, I think that it's going to take the Chiefs actually doing something special, more than what the Eagles did here.
Yeah,
the Chiefs couldn't play a game like the Eagles played and win that game, I don't think. Yeah. So assuming the Chiefs do more against the Bengals, which I kind of already believe is a better team than the Eagles, assuming they do enough to beat them, it's like we said on our other show, I assume they can 2 weeks later after people get healthier, Mahomes and Kelsey, I assume they'll be able to take care of business against the Eagles. That said, I like the Eagles the best probably out of the 3 remaining teams, just subjectively as far as like teams that I tend to like. So there's some part of me and the fact that they're from the NFC, there's definitely a part of me that wants them to win. I will be rooting for them, I think, no matter what, barring some cool kind of storyline that can pop up or that can be spun from some NFL people. But we're going to be, in my opinion, watching the Bengals versus the Eagles, which is just kind of
your answer to if the Chiefs come out of the AFC is
the
Chiefs. If the Chiefs come out of the AFC and we have an Eagles Chiefs,
then the Chiefs will win.
Yeah. So you think your prediction is AFC either way?
Correct.
But you're gonna be.
But my preference would be NFC either way.
Right. Yeah. You're gonna be cheering for Eagles either way. I think at this point, my take was already AFC, even with the Niners going. So, but when the Niners were going, I was saying, hey, my take will be AFC, but I'll be cheering for the Niners. Now my take is that it's AFC, and I'll probably kind of be cheering for the AFC if I'm being honest.
I get it.
This is what I'm always cheering for in the Super Bowl. 1, a close game. 2, an exciting game, right? Like a close game, 10-7 is a close game, but it's like a little unexciting. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, John.
50-20 is an exciting game, but it's not that close. It's not like
right.
great, you know?
I have a question for you before we kind of wrap it up here. We're almost 3 hours deep. I'm going to say we shoot for that 3 hour mark. We got about 6.5 minutes to go before we hit that. Maybe we won't make it that far. I don't know. But my question to you is fantasy related, because that's another idea I've had. Maybe we start some kind of fantasy playlist on this channel. Maybe we start another channel for fantasy advice more so, because I'm pretty balls deep into fantasy, if we're being honest. But my question for you is, I think it's fair to say, more casual fantasy player. You've seen Jalen Hurts now. You've seen what he's about. We've watched a full game together. You've seen him against a great defense. And you haven't really seen Trey Lance. But I can tell you the idea of what Trey Lance is supposed to be, or should be, you can say if you want to say, or we hope to be if you're a Niners fan. The idea is that Trey Lance is essentially similar to Jalen Hurts. He's that type of quarterback. Right. Seeing these teams at work and their makeups, if Lance were declared the starter, if he did let's assume that we're right, even that Brock Purdy is the starter, unless Lance can take over for him, win the spot. Let's assume your fantasy draft next year is the week before the NFL season starts. And I'll even pose it this way so that it's like easier to answer, I guess. Would you take whoever is deemed the Niners starter or Jalen Hurts first in fantasy football, kind of standard scoring?
Do I not know who the not know who the Niners starter is yet in this situation?
I would say you can create your own narrative there. You can have separate answers if you want based off of who the starter is.
I mean, there's a chance I would take. I wouldn't take Jalen Hurts versus Trey Lance. I would take Jalen Hurts in that matchup because he's just more of a known entity. So it'd be like Trey Lance might end up scoring more fantasy points than him, but he'd have to kind of like pop up. He'd have to exceed expectations like greatly. Brock Purdy, I could see being a really good fantasy grab, but typically those rushing quarterbacks are just like better in fantasy than like the more true passers. So yeah, if I'm being honest, I'd probably take Jalen Hurts over any Niners starter. But if there's a Niners starter that I would consider over Jalen Hurts, it would be Purdy, not Lance.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's
is that where you'd go to? I mean, well, I mean, so I will say this: fantasy is the one place that, like, it's not like your bias doesn't come through. For sure.
It did this a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for sure. It does. It's not like it doesn't come through, but it got you this year. But you try and avoid your bias in fantasy more than any other place.
Historically,
you want to win. You want to win in fantasy. Player. Yeah, you want to win in fantasy.
I think I'm cash positive in fantasy in my career. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably pretty true.
So that's what I mean is that's where you will like just not feed into the nut dragon for Brock Purdy. But like if but yeah, like I think that. Do you feel the same way? Would you go with Jalen Hurts over pretty much any Niner starter?
I mean, I'm glad we've gotten here because this is why I asked the question, is because I think it's a rare scenario where it is going to come down to narratives, because it's all going to be perception based when we get to draft season for fantasy next year. You're going to have a guy like Jalen Hurts, who was an MVP candidate from this season. Particularly good for fantasy because of the rushing capability he has. He was a top 5 QB essentially. And I don't know that most people, I think just to answer your question, the objective normal take should be Jalen Hurts by a mile. And I am just going to start this off by saying yes.
If you could get one of the other guys at a better value, then I can see that take.
That is where the entire conversation begins. And that's why it is narrative based. Is because if narratives kind of go back and forth on Trey Lance versus Brock Purdy kind of all offseason, which I hope they don't, right? Because that's not what, forget fantasy, when it comes to real football, that's not what you want going through the heads of your players. It's like, who's even the freaking leader of this team, guy? Like, I think at this point, it should be clear that it's Purdy. He already has been. Lance has never really been that yet. Never had a chance to do that in a game, be the leader of the team. Purdy has, and he's done a great job. And I think he's enough to do it. We don't know because he got hurt in this game and couldn't finish. But you're exactly right. It's going to come down to draft price because Jalen Hurts next year, I hate to break it to any of you Eagles fans who may ever watch this, but your guy is going to be in like a regular format kind of league, PPR, whatever. Like Jalen Hurts is going to creep up into like that elite tier of quarterback because of his rushing capability. He's going to be drafted right behind.
He's going to be like Lamar Jackson.
It's going to be like
that's
Mahomes
when he gets drafted.
and Allen, and he's going to be taken before Lamar Jackson, guaranteed.
Right, where Lamar Jackson has been taken in fantasy.
He's going to be, if you get him in the 4th round, you're going to be stoked. You're probably going to have to spend a 3rd round pick on Jalen Hurts. That said, especially if the narratives go a certain way, you could have a split audience on Trey Lance and Brock Purdy where they both are kind of taken like in the 9th round because nobody's even sure. And I mean, even if you end up grabbing both of those guys, say you spend an 8th and a 9th round pick or a 9th and a 10th, even better, and you can have both and you can play that committee, whoever they decide to go with, if it's up in the air. I don't think it will be up in the air. I think it'll be Purdy or, even more more likely than being up in the air, less likely than it being Purdy. It could just be Lance by that point. It could be. It's known that it's Lance. He could have taken it over, or it could have been that was always the plan. We're going back to him. The Niners have not spoken to this yet. We don't know. But those guys are not going to be taken in general in the first 3 rounds, not in the 4th, round, not in the 5th. What we saw from Trey Lance has the higher ceiling. That's what people say about him. He was taken pretty high already this year. His stock went down this year, guaranteed. With a season-ending injury, he has to come back from that, and he has to win the spot back. He went down from his round 9 spot this year, round 8, 9. He was a late quarterback already. He's a super late quarterback. Brock Purdy, unless he's declared the starter right away, I mean, he's not even going to be that high. So I think the highest you'll have to take either of those guys is 8, 9, maybe 8, 9th round. I'm saying, and that value is going to be insane with some of whoever the starter is. They're going to do screen passes to Christian McCaffrey. They're going to hit screen passes to Deebo Samuel. They're going to hit Brandon Ayuk down the field. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens. George Kittle is going to be a monster. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns next year, I think. There's going to be more value in drafting a Niners quarterback. And even though Jalen Hurts will almost definitely be the more sure thing, and he might outscore either of those guys, there's always a chance that the Niners offense, with all the weapons they have, with all the firepower they have, even without the rushing yards and the rushing touchdowns that are kind of a hack for fantasy football, there's always a chance that Purdy or Lance could be better. And for sure, you're going to be able to get them 5, 6, 7 rounds later in fantasy. So
and you're big on not taking quarterbacks too early.
The fantasy game has kind of flipped on its head recently. It's looking like a guy who might be a top 5 guy is worth a higher pick for sure, like a Mahomes. But generally speaking, over the last decade, it has been a benefit to take later quarterbacks and bet on the right guy. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm John. That's Casey, the Nut Dragon Fernstrom, aka @Niners_fan-man. I don't know, Casey. Say all the YouTube things. Take us out.
Triple Cross Podcast. Thank you for hanging out with us today, watching this 49ers at Eagles game with us. It was a tough one if you're like me and you're a Niners fan. It's you never want to see your team get eliminated from the playoffs. If you're an Eagles fan, good luck to you in the Super Bowl. I wish nothing but the best for you. Do not forget to go join our giveaway. You can find the link down to the details down below in the video description, so check those out. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, you can go check us out on YouTube. There is a clip that you can find on our page about the giveaway where we'll explain it. It's less than 2 minutes long if you want to just hear about it. You can also just go to triplecross.live in your web browser, and you can visit our website. There's a banner at the top of the screen about that. You can click on any one of our socials. We have a recent post about that, but if you're listening to this later for whatever reason, strange for a live stream, but if you're listening later, you can find us on a feed of ours on any channel. There's a post about it on every channel, essentially. So go check us out, triplecross.live. Go enter our giveaway to win 2 Super Bowl or 2 home opener tickets to the team of your choice, to the home opener for the team of your choice, 2 tickets to that game. We're going to be giving those out on our Super Bowl watch party show. So make sure you enter before then, because the contest will be over after the Super Bowl. So I think that's pretty much everything. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications on YouTube here, because we do a lot of live shows, give away a lot of stuff. So you're going to want to make sure you're involved with that. Until next time, Triple Cross, I'm Casey. That's John. You keep it real. Good night.